Hein? Il est social. À Décance. L'union fait la force. Hein? Donc, là, on est bon, on a pour le Sans Robert, sans Bernadette, le colonel va François. Président, Oscar Pascal, Côté Delmas, Pierre, Haïtien, Thierry Robert, son précurseur, le président,
Good evening, folks. We want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. Thank you so much for joining us here. This is the Diaspora Informative News Outlet. Welcome to the show. Let's take you to Greater Liberia here this evening. And now we're going to get this program right underway. Lot is unfolding the closure of what appears to be the 2023 presidential race. yeah, this is not what I want to play. Just bear with me here. I want to go to, where do I go right now? Just bear with me here quickly, and we will get this program going. In the meantime, if you are here, we say welcome. This is LPR. Share the show for me, and then I'll be Good evening, good evening. We want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. Thank you so much for joining us. This is the Francis and Salt of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR-TV. Welcome to the show. This is how we want to start the program here. This is the patrol here. This is, I believe, in the culture of Liberia. Good evening, good evening. What a day in the West African state of the Republic of Liberia. Democracy at its best. Right here, right now, latest unfolding. We want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. Welcome to the show. Good evening, good evening. Welcome. I'm Afonso and Sort of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR-TV. What a day in the West African state of the Republic of Liberia. For we now know who going to be the chief occupant of the executive mansion, the official residency of the President of the Republic of Liberia. What a day, democracy unfolding itself. What a huge lesson learned. How this started and how far are we now? Well, this ultimate decision that led to the president to speak to the people of Liberia, to his country, in 4 minutes 59 seconds. How did this happen? It all started central, almost in the heart of Monrovia, in Senko, when this decision ultimately came down and the president was able to make these concessions. Let's listen to this.
593, constituting the valid vote of 74.13%. We have George Manning, CDC, votes obtained 50,449, constituting the valid vote of 25.87%. Total valid votes 195,042. Total invalid votes 3,801. Total votes 198,843. Madam Chair, I duly submit.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Alban, and I invite Commissioner Sayer to continue with the reading of presidential results from the campus.
Presidential results consolidated Bakoru County. 134 polling places of the total of 134 polling places constituting 100%.
This is the Diaspora Informative News Outlet. I am Afonso Zienso right here in Angor here this evening. Time check here is 8:10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Good evening, USA. Good morning, Liberia. So we are here in quiet city, quiet country. To what a day in the country. The usual 4:30 national briefings of the National Election Commission today extended to 5 o'clock, with everyone holding their breath. Security were beefed up in central Monrovia and its environs. No one knew exactly what was unfolding. Sooner or later, numbers were released. And ultimately, it was glaring that the opposition to United Party, standard bearer Ambassador Jose Nyemah Boakai, is now heading to Capitol Hill, the executive mansion, this building you see behind me. We all now know from all indications alluded by the president, but quality democracy thought unfolded. The president spoke to the nation, but this is what we have. Okay, that was Ambassador Jose Nyemah Boakai. And then later on, news broke that the president of the Republic of Liberia was going to speak to the country. Let's see what happens.
My fellow Liberians, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I stand before you tonight with a grateful heart, but with the utmost respect for the democratic process that has defined our nation. As your president and the leader of the Coalition for Democratic Change, I want to address you on the outcome of the runoff elections on November 14, 2023. The results announced tonight, though not final, indicate that Ambassador Jose Nyemah Boakai is in a league that we cannot surpass. A few moments ago, I spoke with President-elect Jose Nyemah Boakai to congratulate him on his victory. Tonight, as we acknowledge the result, let us also recognize that the true winners of these elections are the people of Liberia. Through your peaceful and orderly exercise of your constitutional right to vote, you have once again demonstrated your commitment to the democratic principles that bind us together as a nation. Under my leadership, these elections were organized with a promise to the Liberian people, a promise of fairness, peace, inclusion, transparency, and credibility. I am proud to say that we have fulfilled that promise. The Liberian people have spoken, and we have heard their voice. However, the closeness of the result revealed a deep division within our country. As we transition to the new administration, we must be vigilant to the dangers of division and work together to find common ground. Now, more than ever, unity is paramount for the love of Mama Liberia. To the members of the Martyr Coalition for Democratic Change, fellow partisans, seditions, Weashens, all auxiliaries, first-time voters, campaign managers, and party leaders, I understand that this is not the outcome we desire. Although we did not emerge victorious, your hard work and support have been the backbone of our campaign, and for that, I am deeply grateful. I urge you to follow my example and accept the result of the elections. Go home tonight with the knowledge that our ideas and vision for Liberia remain strong. We are a young movement and our time will come again. Tomorrow, resume your daily activities in a normal way and come and join me at our party headquarters to reflect on our journey and plan for our return to political leadership in 2029. My fellow Liberians, ladies and gentlemen, tonight the CDC have lost the election, but Liberia has won. This is a time for graciousness in defeat, a time to place our country above party, patriotism above personal interests. I remain your president until the handover of power, and I will continue to work for the good of Liberia. Let us heal the division caused by the campaign and come together as one nation and one united people. May God bless Liberia, and may we continue to strive for a brighter future together. Thank you. May God bless you all.
What a painful statement speaking to his people this evening in a speech of 4 minutes 59 seconds. The President of the Republic of Liberia, in that concession speech, also alluded, calling the President-elect Ambassador Joseph Nyemah Boakai of the opposition Unity Party. But what is the history of President departing Liberia we know so far? We're going to take you a little bit back. He made some points, and we hope to decide it here with the analysts. Our visions, we are a young party. Go home. We'll be back. But let's listen to the other versions of them coming back and what led them to leave. Courtesy to the Associated Press, keeping you track, keeping you informed on some of the history, some of the monumental departures of the president, former president of the Republic of Liberia. Let's watch this here, and we will be right back. Just hold on 1 second.
I did not want to leave this country. I can say I am being exiled by the world superpower. I have decided to leave because first time in the history of the world, the United States is using food and other things as a weapon against the Liberian. Because if the administration, President Bush says that they will not step on this soil and will do nothing as long as I'm here, this further threatens your survival as a people. As I have said, I can no longer see and I love you. I will always remember you wherever I am. God bless you. I challenge George Bush. Due respect, Mr. President. Please, you are a man of God. Do something for our people. This period, and as we go, they will say that something good was done. This must not, please, and should not be a publicity.
What a day. By God's willing, I will be back, but this be back has been in there. So they forced me to leave my own country, but that's not the. Guess what? What a surprise package here this event. The return of the prodigal son. They say child can run. You run when you go, you can come back. He was one of the founding members of this network. But the beauty of a democracy and free society, which the liberal always punch in this place here. I'm not sure why you're wearing blue. Time to wear blue. He didn't wear blue. Blue is going out the brinking. I'm breaking to legendary Gibson Jeru, the return of the prodigal son. He shared his political ideology with the entire the CDC. He didn't initially support Councilor Tiawanse Gongo. Let me bring in Gibson Jeru here this evening. Our idea, our visions. We are a young party. We will be back. Okay, what a great panelist here this evening. The Liberal Progressive based in Sacramento, Saxtown. Support Ambassador Jose Nyemah Boakai. What a happy man this evening. My understanding, he already got a phone call and might be facing the toll town road. Amos George is based in Atlanta, Georgia. The man voted, but we don't know which side his vote went. And here comes Dr. George Toto, senior analyst of the Liberia Public Radio based in Pittsburgh, right here. Gibson Jeru is in Fargo, North Dakota. Gentlemen, good evening to what a day. Democracy at its best. First time of leaflet of African president, third world country president, to place a concession speech. Yeah, but we're going to decide that. But let's have a conversation here. Yesterday, day before, we were all freaking out here, but the board, the kind of back broke this evening. Liberal, let me just start with you here. I've been monitoring what's happening.
Son, Alfonso, so hold on there. Did you say I voted?
Oh, don't come the flower.
No, I'm just asking you. I want clarity.
I say your man, your guy, you support.
Okay, that's why I got hearing problem.
Okay, then we also hearing aid for you. You let too much apply. We get new president in that, bro. Okay, gentlemen, good evening. Welcome to the show. Let's have a conversation here. We all listen to the president's speech. It is the issue now. But like Gibson, this is not. I will come to it. But let me just go to the Liberal. The Liberal seems to be the happy mayor. Liberal, good evening. Welcome.
Thank you, Mr. So. But I thought perhaps you would have congratulated me before even introducing me. But anyway, you have already congratulated Nigerians.
Where's the green? Why are you not wearing green?
The people not know you. You're just doing whatever work. Congratulations, and that will make you to feel good.
Thank you. No, Mr. So, this is a sober day for all of us, especially many of us from the Southeast. Who perhaps found ourselves on the other side. But we knew that this was not about Southeast. This is about Liberia. Southeast is part of Liberia. And so whatever we try to do is in the interest of the entire country. I want to thank you and the entire LPR family for the last 3 years plus. We've been on here every night having a discussion. And wherever we discuss here, without even recognizing or even knowing, we're also helping to educate our brothers and sisters about what is happening in the country. And so, under your leadership, I also want to take this opportunity to say thank you very much. And as a liberal on this show, I think we've come a long way, and I really, really appreciate you get angry, but you know that it is not about you. And so any of us can say something here, I know you, but yet still you're able to contain yourself and deal with us as a panelist, and nothing is personal. And for that, I take my hat up to you as a young man, very young, to be that much mindset of such a control. I think I'm very happy to be with you here. Lastly, Mr. So, I want to thank all of you, including Mr. Josh and Mr. Jeru, Dr. Toto Neres, Cesar Goya, soon to be coming in Malish. I want to thank all of you for pushing us. We will come in, and of course, Sterry himself, we will come in here and make some ridiculous statement, but you don't let it go. You push us, and for us to make sure that whatever we're saying, either will be responsible for our contents, and we have done so. If you all serving with you on this platform in the last 3 years have made me to know a little bit English, I want to thank you. I also made me as a human being, and when I'm discussing issue about Liberia, that I don't just rush myself into. Look at Amos George. Can you see anybody pushing Amos George around? No, I come out here, even before he comes in, I talk almost about that. Then when he comes in, he said, let me hear you again. I will push you on this one. It has nothing to do with personal issue, but he wants to make sure that whatever that I'm saying, and in fact, is correct. And even if it's not correct, that is of a decent proposal on this platform. And I want to thank all of you. I appreciate it. However, Papa, we sorry, our mouth fool us. Papa, we sorry, our mouth fool us. Congratulations. They say you owe, but you beat the young people. They say you were in a hospital, but you beat the young people. You freed them. You told them, look, you want to be my child in this country, you have to
Alfonso.
don't respect your question.
Alfonso, this is National Central Show.
Whoop you. And he has done that. I'm very happy. He's teaching all of us sense. Mr. So, you can have a beautiful show as you want. You want to put me in a bag, you want to kick me, you want to pack me in the garage, you can do so.
Oh, Lord. Okay, well, guys, good evening. Let's keep it succinct. We are here today. Look, all of these things we are having is for the good of the country. And something sort of kind of vindicated me today. I was listening to one of the network, and they were going at the host because they took this side, they took this side, they took that. But we have created some sort of stability here on this network, allowing all voices to be heard. We refuse to take a side because we do not want to see this network to be compromised. Our endeavor was to make sure to talk to all sides, but it will sound very different. And all of us come here and say, oh, we're for this party A, party B. How wouldn't we kind of be able to hear from this party? Thank you so much, Liberia Gibson. Good to return to the very network that you established. The returns of the party called Sons. When they go, they can come back, but that's no problem. Okay.
Is it returning or just passing
That's
through?
the benefit. That's the benefit of being a prodigal son. When you come back, you eat the best. You eat the best from your father's food.
Whether he's in transit or is he here for stay, that's a different thing. Yeah, but we ask him to come here this evening. We want to have some real national conversation. Thank you, Toto. Good to have you. Terry, as usual, thank you for your services, for your commitment. This is not easy. We take 2 hours, 3 hours, and do all of the talking. And sometimes people accuse you, oh, they want you compromise, you take money, you do this, you do that. But I think all of us people were still resilient. Nothing really moved forward because we wanted a very unique, a different way to have these sort of conversations to give our people the sense. But guys, it seems that the whole thing came to an end today. Dr. Toto, let me just bring you in here quickly here. What's your initial reaction? Those numbers were coming in. We saw the deployment of police, joint security, and all of that. But ultimately, let this event things change around. What's your reaction so far? Unmute yourself. You got to unmute yourself. Dr. Toto? Your mic. Oh, is it from? Let me see. No, it's on your side. Unmute yourself. Okay. While he's doing that, Amos George, let me just bring you in. Something. Will you look? You always don't start that. Don't start that, please. So that, for now, you're for now.
Yeah, okay, I'm here. You can hear me?
Yeah, something
Yeah,
from
we
you.
can hear you now.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
something told they want. What about the man? They been myself, they all the 6 years together. They want to mess me all that.
Okay. Go ahead.
You know, first of all, let me greet the panelists and also kiss him. Let me greet you or see your brother.
Go ahead.
We have
Quick in the
some
backyard.
professional work together before. I'm so happy, you know, especially for the network. For the past time that we have worked together, we have discussed the issue, you know, the politics of Liberia on the network. We have bitter disagreement when we have the two female. They have not been around for a while now, but those are the time that we have discussed issues on the network and we're very civil with one another. Despite our disagreement on political issue on the network, we're respectful to one another. We never cross the line on each other, and that's a applause I want to give to the network. And also you too, Alfonso, you are demonstrated a good leadership on the network, and I want to commend you for that. That we can come to this age today, you know, and looking at what all have transpired in Liberia in the next 15 to 20 days in the election period, it's something that we should give it all to the Liberian people. The Liberian people have made us proud. And when the result was announced today, you know, as for me, you know, I am a researcher. When things happen, I don't just go and look at what happened. I go in other foreign network and to just see and read what people are saying about Liberia, about this democratic process that took place in Liberia today. And when President Weah coming out to give a concession speech, I went in other network like the Nigerian network, Ghanaian, South African, Zambian, to just read what they are saying about Liberia, about the democratic process. I feel so proud to be a Liberian, to see how people are praising the democratic process in Liberia and commending President Weah. Even in Sierra Leone, I went to the Sierra Leone chat room. People are praising Liberia, you know, commending President Weah for showing a good leadership in Liberia, and Liberia today can celebrate the achievement today. So I'm just so happy for that.
Okay. Amos George.
Let me say this, Mr. Gissinger, welcome. I think this is my first time coming to interact with you. I follow you sometime. But I want to commend President Weah. I mean, you all know me the same with President Weah, but President Weah, I must commend him and the Liberian people, the election commissions. What President Weah did, he had taken our democracy one step further again. He has showed the world that yes, Liberians can demonstrate a good democracy. And what he did today or last night, it will go a long way. He had left an imprint on Liberian democracy, where the election commission and I called the election off, but based on numbers, he said, hey, it's over. It's time to recalibrate. We'll go back and see what we may have missed our shortcoming. So I must commend the president for that. Salute President Weah. Job well done. At least our neighbors, they will emulate from us that our elections, yeah, there were less skirmishes somewhere, but on the overall, it was peaceful. So once again, President Weah, thank you. And to Mr. Collins and Mr. Toa, I want to congratulate you people. Honorable Joe Boakai is now the incoming president. But I want to warn you people that the tax is not beginning. Some of us, we're not going to get no room for breathing. because Liberia has to move forward. Thank you.
There's a reason, Gibson. It's not that it's on. There's a reason for which I am preparing. Sometimes when the going gets tough, when the tough gets going, the player that you want to bring in to make that equalize or in the dying minute, and then you bring in that player. Well, let me bring in Terry. Terry is warming up. Is about to go to the executive mansion. Perhaps, maybe, whatever. Terry, good evening. I want to say congratulations. I was not involved in any competition. Doing that is me. I'm taking aside. But I see it as a big deal, like alluded by Dr. Toto. And a Nigerian guy, white may call me. Say, really, your president call to concede? Oh, are you serious? And I send that speech to him because in every country, in every society, there's a good side of us. Sarah, let me just bring you in here. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Mr. So. And firstly, I want to say hi to the panelists or to Mr. Jeru Gibson. Welcome here because you from a big platform. We highly appreciate your presence with us. However, and to everybody, to the liberal, to everybody on the platform, including Mr. So, Josh, Cotto, and to everybody, we believe that the dust has settled. Finally, we want to thank God first, and then we want to say congratulations to His Excellency elect Joseph Nyemah Boakai, incoming president for the Republic of Liberia, and also to President Weah. I was very, very, very surprised. President Weah behaved like the American presidents. He brought sanity to Africa by taking a stand. And one of the things I like in the speech that President Weah said that surprised me was Liberia has won. He was telling seditions, he was telling Weahians, he was telling all his supporters that Liberia has won. They decided on the person they won, and we have to respect that. And that really brought tears to my eyes because, I did not know that President Weah had it in him, and that is why you don't judge a book by the cover. So I want to believe, like I always say, that President Weah is a good guy. The problem I feel was his inability to listen, the inability to understand the intuition of the people, the inability to have empathy for what was going on around him. And I want to also think that he's figuring it out now, that there have been so much deception around him, people, saying stuff, making him to think that this is how it is when that is not how it is. So that speech really brought back a different President Weah. It brought back a different guy. It showed to us that there is something in him that we really think he don't have, but he does, So, and I think that African leaders should follow suit. He set a new precedent for African leaders to look at, and to follow suit. So in my opinion, Mr. So, I think that Liberians also should learn from this experience, all right? Liberians need to realize that violence and propaganda of all nasty stuff is not necessary for our body politics. We can all disagree to agree. President Weah received more than 100,000% insults. But today when he spoke, I listened to a tune of a man who has agreed and very calm. And that really brought something to me. I don't know about other people, but he was not like somebody who is grieving, somebody who have been defeated. He quickly recognized within no time, and he spoke with calmness and with vigor. And he said to his partisans that, hey, we're going to return, which means he giving them confidence, even if he don't come back, which I do believe he will not, but he's giving them confidence that, hey, we can fight again. So I think that was a good thing.
Okay, one of our only play on this network, so we're going to prioritize. I saw her on her live feed dancing, and of course, she have all reason to dance. There's a passion. It's good when you believe and you have a passion or conviction in something or somebody, Exhibit A, show it, Koto Jalabalayan from the Garden City of New Jersey. Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Soul. Good evening, and welcome to Jaru. And I just want to say thanks to all of you, my fellow panelists. And it was a fight, and we all know it wasn't an easy fight. And it was celebrating actually, and it wasn't an easy one. And right now, I just want to congratulate our president-elect and his vice president-elect. And a big thanks. Probably people don't see certain thing in this lady. Yomdi Kanga Lawrence. I want to give her thanks because this lady sacrificed her position as a party leadership, her party leadership position, just to make sacrifice for this the election of Joseph Nyemah Boakai. I really want to give her the highest. It wasn't an easy battle that she fought. She really stood her time. It wasn't an easy one, but she stood her ground. And today, the fighting that she went through, she is successful. She is victorious. So I just want to, first of all, give her the highest, because if it wasn't for her, maybe some of these things that, today we have for Joseph Boakai, probably wouldn't have been to this level, because some of us, she gave us courage. Because for a woman to stand that test of time, where men were against her, and she stood that time, and today being successful, that what she wanted had happened. I want to just commend my sister Yomdi Kanga Lawrence. I want to say thank you. And to the rescue, we call it the rescuers. I just want to thank all of us, because I don't want to take individual name here. It was a battle. I just took Kanga up, our senator vice. Stuttering have come in today. Sometimes when you overjoyed, you happy, so many things can happen.
Yeah.
Yes, and I'm so happy and overwhelmed. And I want to thank my iPhone, because people thought that the phones that we have there is just to call and just play with it or go on Facebook. But I want to commend my own phone. I'm sitting in America here, and my phone was working for me in Liberia. And I just want to tell my phone, I told my children today I will keep it in my archive. I always give my phone up when I use it for some time, but this particular phone, I'm not giving it up, keeping it for some time. And, for our fellow rescuer, like I said earlier, I just want to thank all of those that, contributed towards the success of Joseph Nyemah Boakai winning this election. And also those that have concealed to the victory of Joseph Nyemah Boakai, because we thought it would have been a difficult process for them to have concealed at this time, But it's a healing process. I think this time around, at this time, it's a healing thing, because it takes a while that, we're going to overcome this situation. A lot of people have been wounded. To undo some of the things that have been done, it's going to be, take some time to have this healing process. And I think we just need to accommodate, like where I was in Trenton just now, celebrating with some of our friends. They were all seditious. What we had to do is just some people were, trying to mock at them and, joke them, but I was like hugging them and kissing them, giving them that courage that Liberia is for all of us. There is no sedition. There is no other party. We all are Liberians. And Joseph Nyemah Boakai have always said is here to accommodate all of us. Unlike the CDC was saying, they were not going to accommodate other parties in. But we are here. Liberia is for all. We're going to accommodate everybody. And I just want to just tell them that this is a healing process. I know you're going to take a while to absorb this, but we want to give you the assurance that our arms are open. We're going to accept you guys as our brothers and sisters. There will be nothing to deter us. The only thing maybe for some of them that we were saying, leave all of these thing and television thing and prepare yourself for the future. like what people did previously to go and prepare themselves, get a better education, get a training, to prepare yourself for the next one. And that's what I think we will do. Nobody is going to be left out. People that did not go to school, they might be given the opportunity if they want to. And those that need to be trained, will be given the opportunity to be trained. And we did this when I was there doing ending time, first time, for some of the people, especially as combatants that were there, we accommodated them. We created job opportunity for them. I think what I will be doing, my prayer right now is if God gave me the strength, that will be some of the things I will be doing personally. I don't want a government job. I think I will, if I get it, I'm not saying what government gave me job, I would not do it. But I'm not thinking about it to say whatever I've been doing is I'm seeking for a job. Prior to this election, when Ellen won for the first time, we ran her campaign. And I never worked in Ellen government. I was there doing my private job. And what I will be doing is do likewise. If I'm going my country, work for my country, I will be willing to do for my country. But I say, as for now, I just want to congratulate and say thank you all for the hard work we all have done together.
Your politician, you're not trusted. Okay, this is a very crowded house, so we're gonna keep it succinct so that everybody will have a share here.
I want to say something just now, Mr. So. You say you're politician. You guys always miss. Y'all can miss the supporters from politicians. They get supporters, they get politicians. Supporters are different from politicians. So get that right.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
Supporter. I was saying you're a politician because you contested before. So am I wrong to say that you're not a politician or you're not a career politician?
No, you say you're a politician. I am a politician, but I'm not like that.
Okay, let's let that go. Okay, John Malice, good evening, welcome. Gibson Jeru, good to have you here. For those I don't know, Gibson is one of the founders of this network. But when the children, when they plenty, some of them want to go, they want to move to Mexico and want to move to Alaska, to Cerro Peno, they are there. Gibson, Jones, good. Let me play something here and to understand all of the analysts on LPR here. I can't call name, but all of you that are here, and for those that are not even here, I want to say thank you so much for the support. This network, they're here. Anytime a big event, something happened to our members, everybody will send their 50, 25.
Why you can't come on in? Why you can't come on in?
Something, please, I beg you.
Thank you. That's all I want.
And all of our guys, the guys that are in Liberia, are volunteering. Nobody's on salary. Louis, McDown, the website is all the way up to date. Just imagine it was tough this morning when I heard the news. We'll deploy, and this guy, he said, I gotta go there. That's part of our job. And his sister is not even well, but still he went out there because news, we are at a consequential time. But Gibson, let me play this tape here, and then I will have you to respond. LPR crew was at the residence of Ambassador Joseph Nyemah Boakai right after the scene.
Radio. You are celebrating. Why is it?
I'm celebrating Liberia. I'm celebrating liberation. I'm celebrating freedom. I'm celebrating giving the country back to indigenous Liberians. Yes, that's what I'm celebrating. We are also celebrating the president-elect of Liberia, Joseph Nyemah Boakai. Yes, for the numbers even if we decide to get everything tomorrow, because then we may imagine. So I'm actually sure. I'm speaking fast, not fallacy. I'm giving fast. They know it. Even anything knows about the fact I'm giving.
I'm afraid that tomorrow you will be against tomorrow.
God forbid. Even I now reached the age in 2005. I'll be just telling you about now for them. I'll bring you before the United Party.
What do you think is the best person for now?
Very good. We actually, for me for once, right? I for once, I've never voted in Ambassador. We are former President George president now? Former president George Weah.
Former president.
He's the former president. I don't have to tell you. You already know. You get 0.1. He's the former president. I don't have to tell you. You already know. Don't pick from my mouth.
So what type of government do you foresee from Ambassador Boakai?
The army of the people. Army of the people. And the army of foresee for the Republic of the army of the people. That's what we wanted. That's what the people thought George Mane we have brought for the Liberians, but instead, he just to be a dictator. So we voted against him, but he did the mistake again. He said he was talking to the reaction sedition. But the reaction sedition were in minority. And the Liberians are in majority. That's why we voted him out. You see the
Gibson, something caught my attention. I'm very sensitive to people tone. That lady, she was interviewed in the compound during the celebratory actions of supporters of Unity Party. Government for the people, and not government for, she was making direct reference, not a sedition, but reaction. That is profound. So the vote by other people here, they took other things into consideration. Is he not my president? Is he not for us? Is he for a particular segment of people? So this gave me a sense that people voting, the voting was done in different ways and context, understanding what was happening. This is not to crucify you here this evening. Do you think this president, what went wrong? Was that a way, unique way was towards inside his base? Okay, sedition, but reaction, other people felt alienated into the process as if they are not Liberian. Could that be one of the reasons to get us to be where we are? I'm not sure why this president loses election. There were a lot of missed opportunity. We can count them a lot. But the meeting here, you are veterans. You have covered a lot of presidents going in, coming in. What is happening with the inside or the in within CDC, this kind of event with this sort of night here?
Thank you very much. First of all, let me recognize that I'm also, relaying your page. I see 1.4 thousand people, 1,400 people watching you. So you are a big platform, and I'm happy to benefit from this platform. So I really appreciate that. But here is the thing. First of all, let me make it clear here that I'm not happy that Joseph Boakai won. I'm not happy at all. And I have to elevate this conversation to a heated debate now. Let me say that now. People say I'm controversial, but that's not being controversial, it's being honest. I am really, really mad that Joseph Boakai is president, and I think he will not be able to do the job that he said he's going to do. But let me come back to Joshua first. I will go to Joseph Boakai as we go along. Joshua lost him, I believe, for 3 reasons. First, Joshua made himself to lose this election. He voted against himself before this election today. His silence on major issues, including the deaths of major Liberian players, auditors, women, and even going to the church and laughing at them and say, this looks like a girlfriend and boyfriend thing. It plays on the mind of people. It affects people's psyche. It affects people's judgment about you. They think you don't care about the people. So that's number one. Number two, his sidelining of seditions. There were so many seditions. Listen, when Ellen took over, she put all Unity Party people in position. When Joshua took over, what did he do? He took the same Unity Party people and left all the seditions that struggle with him, that pay money, that sacrifice their blood, their energy, their resources. He left them out of government. As we speak today, while he's on his way out, majority of the people in Georgia government are people who did not campaign for him, are people who didn't give a fig about him, who didn't care about him. Eugene Nambe, for example, He made George Weah to lose the election because he joined Ellen Johnson Sirleaf in the second round in 2005. This is same Eugene Nangbe that he is stuck with today. He was even campaign chair for this election. There's several other people I can name. Okay, so that's number three. Number two. Number three, George Weah refused to make change in government. I don't see what kind of government that lasts for 6 years and think everybody doing everything 100% the same way. I don't understand how he come to that realization. Even people the public rejected, people who the public believe were not performing, Joshua kept them. It doesn't matter to them, to him. The second reason Joshua lost, bad media. Listen, George Weah does not even have a good media, publicity, public relations. He didn't have it. His own radio station and TV station, he neglected it. This man built condominiums, 10 or 45 or 47 condominiums. He had enough money to refurbish the King FM and Clark TV and make it fabulous, and make it professional. He abandoned those institutions. Now, if you talk about LBS is not the way it's supposed to be with the kind of money that the government was getting and the kind of way they were getting their own money. So he didn't care about the media. He didn't care to build his media team. Look at the whole election. No public relation for George Weah. Nothing. They only depend on Michael Gamer. And Michael Gamer cannot do it all. You need professional people to talk about this. Okay, he didn't have that. The last one is massive propaganda and protest against George Weah. In the last 5 years before this election today, there were, I think, if I'm not mistaken, about 15 or so small and big protests that took place in Monrovia. The same Costa we're talking about destroyed George Weah in 5 years. And he thought he could do it to renew it, to fix it in 2 weeks. It was not possible. George Weah already destroyed. They already cut George Weah into size. Listen, if George Weah was not popular, he would not even come to the point that he has now. He would not even have the votes that he had today. He was going to be whipped in the first round because the people cut George Weah into size.
All right, please don't. Let me tell you right now. Do not allow your pressure to go on or hear you on your own. You don't have
No, I will not.
Okay.
I will not.
So make sure you get a cold drink. Let me bring in Mary Jones and talking about
I got my coffee ready. It keeps me
yeah,
going.
and talking about what you said?
My regret.
Okay. And talking about
I will come to Joseph Boakai later why I'm so mad at Joseph Boakai is president. And I think that Liberian people should be mad as well at Joseph Boakai is president, and they will come to realize they will agree with me. But I want to state my regret today.
Okay. Thank you so much. Talking about all right. Talking about Eugene Nyemah. I was told late this evening when those results started from yesterday, he wiped the process. I've never seen a campaign chairperson, and that was a reliable person. I was told that he asked the president he wanted to go to Ghana. Why in a sort of emergency? Why he going for? I don't know. That was some sort of the abandonment. Mally Jones, let me just bring you in here. We've been having this conversation over and over, but it cannot bite broke finally. Where are we now? What needs to be done?
Well, I just want to say hi to fellow panelists and welcome back.
Can you elevate your camera so that we see? We're just seeing the glasses. I don't want the Liberal to be the one to call you up because he's on fire here this evening.
It's okay now?
Yeah, good, perfect.
Okay. Well, I just want to extend my greetings to fellow panelists. Welcome back, Dr. Tutu and Mr. Gibson, Jerome, welcome back, and the rest of the panelists. Maybe as we progress into the discussion, I would like to push back a lot on Mr. Gibson's sections. He's entitled to his opinion, but as time goes by, we'll have to push back on a few things. But until then, I think we want to extend our personal congratulations to the president-elect And secondly, I also want to congratulate former President Weah for having the courage, for having that fortitude.
He's still
Something
president.
that,
He's still president. Please put it
yes,
out. He's
something
president.
that I was quite astonished. I mean, I must give him that credit because the African leader, sometimes they become so intransigent to the point where to even do these things is quite difficult. And I really want to give him that credit. And I also want to give the credit to the Election Commission. I know behind the scene they were under a whole lot of pressure, but I also want to give credit to our international observers who really kept their eye on this election to the finish line. I want to give them credit for that. And finally, I would like to say that the milk has been spilled already. Going back now to Western on George, we are going forward from our own analysis now will be a waste of time. I think learning from George, we are legacy and looking at the pitfalls and see what we can do differently as the government of the people. I think that might be my focus now as an independent analyst. And judging His Excellency President-elect right now on ground that he might be a Desmond failure to the people who elected him, I think it might be gross overstatement. We have not given him the benefit of the doubt. On all this time we have been on this platform, we have not gone into actually crucifying the president-elect on his competency. I don't know. I have not heard that on this platform before. We have just been analyzing on the progress and the progress of this election. So I think giving him the benefit of the doubt to justify some of the promises he has made, and also using his future appointees and his advisors will give me a clue of where Joseph Boakai will be taking this country. But for now, I'm going to keep my fighting weapon to my chest.
Okay, fighting weapon, not a weapon, not a weapon. Okay, it's a crowded house this evening, so we're going to be spending that we can make it brief as possibly we can. So we're going to be pushing forward and coming back. It is too soon to begin to put ambassadors on the back row. But one person that I can say now who would be the trusted person who became a game changer and shifted the entire process is Senator Amara Coney. How he did it, I wouldn't be surprised if Ambassador Boakai asked him to come to his close proximity. Look, being in the Oval Office, you need somebody that you can trust, somebody who is honest, somebody who can rely on you. I wouldn't be surprised when he's asked to be the chief of staff or presidential affairs minister, which can happen, but that's a different game. But let's talk here because there's a conversation here. Other people are saying there why the president said he want to come back so soon, so he's not generous, he's not. It's not his concession, is not in a true faith. But I'm an open-minded guy here. Let's have a conversation. First of all, he's a head of a political institution, and we all calling for the survival of institutions, that his institutions strictly young people. I think that is a way of cooling the temperature. Hey, that's not the end of the world. We can, Unity Party went down before and resurrected and became a party, but go home, we have a new leader. I think that helps to stabilize it. But let's do a quick survey here. We can do a minute each. You listen to the president, where your president concession speak, where you agree with, where you disagree with, and then we'll come to that. So let me start with you, the Liberal Progressive. Was there any observations in the president's concession speech this evening? Do you think was there anything that he missed specifically?
Well, Mr. So, just very quickly, I am not one of those that you're going to hold to a meaning. So you either kick me out now or you let a liberal roll the way he's supposed to. I am not, you cannot hold the liberal on a meaning. So please, let me just say this here. Let me say this very quickly.
Something to you. You're not promoting total.
Mr. Central Right. I just want the election. You have to respect me. I just want the election. I don't want interruption. I'm the president of the Republic of Liberia. You have to respect me. Thank you.
Oh my goodness.
Let me just say this here. Mr. So, on a very serious note.
Liberal progressive.
As Gibson was telling us, what many of us, including you, Mr. George, and every one of us have discussed the same thing here on this platform before. But as a Southeasterner, and I'm not trying to be traveling.
What is the issue?
Mister, are you going to protect me or do I leave?
But George, let him talk.
Hold on.
Let him talk, George.
Yeah, let's.
Are you going to protect me?
Then you can counter it. But
this guy
you will not to really get the talking point, you know.
Yeah, it happened that the country is in the liberal. You know, he got to put a foot in his own mouth. So just leave.
You start that one. I'll call you. You start. You started someone said tonight. Don't blame me.
Liberal, go ahead. Let me
right. No, on a very serious note, as a Southeasterner, President, we are defeat. It's very hurtful. In as much as I wanted him to be removed, not because I hate, but because of policy different. And in this type of process, President, we have brought people in to help, and these people failed him. It is not because President Ria is not popular, as Gibson correctly stated. If he wasn't popular, he would have gotten flocked. Look at it. Look at the percent. He was defeated by 29,000 votes. Out of what? Almost 8 million? I mean, out of 800,000 or so. Okay? But the point here, Mr. So, is this. I think I was here the other day and I predicted that President Weah will be back. I feel sorry for anybody, any candidate that will go against President Weah 2029. I feel sorry for that person, because not only President we are going to learn from his mistake, but that he will be reading and following up what he needs to do. He's still popular in Liberia. And if he comes back and decide to bring people who are capable to move Liberia to the next level, ain't nobody going to defeat him. So, Mr. So, your 1 minute you gave me, you can have your time back.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay.
Liberals don't like to be continued.
We got to continue people. We can't have people to be loose and have them. So, Amos Josh, let's hear from you quickly. What was your take from the president's speech? Some people say the speech was still things still on his sleeves, and it was not well consolatory. He still doesn't want to go. He have to do it and all of that. But what do you make of the speech in your own view?
Look, I said the president's speech was wonderful. He spoke about unifying the country. He called on partisans to remain kind, to accept the results, that they will go back and recalibrate and come back 2029. I think that's the best he would say. But I just want to allude to something that Mr. Jeru said. Someone on the platform were yelling over our head that the president was not communicating with the Liberian people. And people say we didn't back the president. Look today, if the president was communicating like this, the election had not even been called by the election commission. But he came forward to say, hey, we accept the result. My partisans, fellow Liberians, Liberia has won. It's not time to move forward. But you can't, people that died, auditors, West Point was one of the president's strongest days, West Point. He refused to go there to speak to that family. He went to Bombay during the campaign. He said, I don't care about you people, I'm talking about we are shame and seditions. You heard it later. That's why I said, leader speaking they have to be very clear on what to say. When the president made that statement, I came back on the platform. I said, hey, this statement will come back to 100% we. So these are the things someone will talk about. I never supported George Weah. But let me push back on something Mali said. Mali, I'm one of those who have been very critical of Joseph Nyemah Boakai, president-elect. I have been on the program critiquing her policy. So don't say we are not discussing, we are not pushing. Maybe you and Terry accused me, Koto Banya, they all, Samson too. They accused me on the platform.
No.
That I was denigrating the president-elect. And I challenged Collins. I said, show me one statement that I denigrated President Joseph Boakai-elect. I said, everything I spoke on, it was on facts, document to back it. And Madam Koto said, youth, they come by. Joseph Boakai was in charge of the disarmament of the youth on Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. What do we see? But let me rest right there because this is a full platform.
Okay, good. People are working within the town scope.
But
I'm not a Samson too.
It doesn't mean we're scared of you.
No, I'm not like you, Samson though. I'm from Jowdy, you from Total, but you can't stop me from passing through Total.
Okay, let's bring the only queen on this network here, Corporate Jala Balakan. You listened to the president's construction speech. What was the most takeaway there? Anything good there, or everything was just tabata? Excuses or what? Unmute, you gotta unmute your mic. All right, good. It kept going back there. Something your own patron something too.
Yeah, they are all the parties and Samson told deputy minister.
A solving issue. Okay. Okay, just be working on it, and then let me just bring in Terry.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I know you kind of did a scheming. Koto, are you good now? Koto, you hearing us now?
Yeah, I think the problem is from your end because you can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
No,
hearing
we're
you guys.
hearing you now, Koto.
Am I okay?
We're hearing you now. I think you're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much, Mr. So. I think it was good. Are you guys getting me clear?
Sure, very clear.
Yeah.
Good. We're hearing you.
I think it was. I think his statement was very clear, and what I took from him, it was like he was encouraging himself and trying to encourage his followers and his fellow citizens or Weahians, how he called them. And it was better that he came out to actually encourage them because I know they are all like discouraged right now. People went to the pool to get him elected, and when he was not elected, definitely they were disappointed. But I think that was courage and being man enough. I hear people saying that he had been the first to do that. I think it's not true. Just like Nyemah Boakai did it, the going election, 2017, call him and congratulated him. And I think this is what needed to be done. We are not in a different era. Anything that is done now, other people will see your fault. But I'm one of those who was, not believing in his capability of leading, and which he did not prove me wrong. But again, it's a learning process. What happened to leaders when they come on job to learn? I know that's what he was going to face. It was going to be difficult for him. But I think from now on, I think he's retrospecting and he's going to learn from his mistake. From what I heard in his tune, it's like, okay, I may have done the wrong thing or done some wrong thing which I will learn from. That's what I heard from his tune and from his speech. But that was good. Actually, I appreciated that from him. I admired that from him. I wish he would have done most of this. Well, I don't know, for some reason, he came last minute time to start doing this. I think he saw some disappointment from a leadership.
Okay, everybody have not added their words, so I don't want to jump here. Terry, I know you did a scheme here, but what was your agreement, disagreement with the president's concession speech you listened to? What do you think left out, or what do you think, in your own view, that was left out in his speech?
Well, I think the aspect of the first of all, we got to look at what the speech was intended for. In my opinion, the speech was intended to congratulate Ambassador Boakai. That was the first thing. Then number two, to give his base hope, because many people were down, to put them at rest so that there cannot be a resistance against the result. So, and I think he perfectly was able to do that in a speech. He addressed the both sides. He addressed congratulating Ambassador Boakai on his election. And he also put his base to rest by making them to feel comfortable that, hey, we don't want any resistance from you guys. Accept the result and move forward. And I think that was what he was supposed to do. And I don't want to say, he left something out. Maybe somebody feel that he left something out. But when I look at what was the intention of the speech, I do not see him leaving anything out. All right. The aspect of him trying to say, we're going to come back, that is some way of motivating his base. All right. But like something Liberal said, I don't want to agree with that. If President we are come back, he's going to be very strong, blah, blah, blah. I don't think so, because in our politics, you know, once you are beaten in an election like this, it's very hard for you to return. All right. So in my opinion, the only thing I see, maybe if President we are come back as VP to Mr. Cummings in the CDC, maybe it could be a very strong ticket. All right. I'm trying to veer far off into the future. So I hope that do not take away the real meat in the discussion. But what I want to say is that I think for him being a president to go as VP to Mr. Cummings, I think that he may not want to accept that. But to be honest with you, I can foresee if Mr. Cummings align with the CDC to rebrand the CDC by bringing in some diaspora Liberians to add knowledge to the CDC and because CDC is a grassroots party. CDC is the common people party. So all CDC need is some sophistication. So if Mr. Cummings come in and rebrand the CDC along with President Weah, that opposition will give Ambassador Boakai a very tough time. It will hold him it will hold his feet to the fire. And if he make any mistake, he will regret the 6 years that were given to him. That is just something I want to share.
Terry, you want to start a problem here? We are with ANC, so you want Amos George, all of them to go now. That's the rationale of your argument. But I'm just saying, I don't know why you're doing it. But Dr. Toto, let me come to you. What was the missing aspect? What you think should he have done it differently than what he did today, or what?
Yeah. First of all, let me just dress back on let me recognize somebody that really made more effort to change the whole trajectory of the election second round process, or Amara Kone. We saw the leadership that Amara Kone brought in for the Unity Party camp, and the information and the report that he gave that really boost the morale and the base of the Unity Party to be where they are. I think it's something that we should commend him for that. On the issue of President Weah's speech, we should know that President Weah have a base. We're not going to take that from him. He has a base, and he spoke to his base. And the only disappointment other than look out for that speech he gave, like Gibson said, One of the downfall of President Weah were people that stood to hit the trenches. People like the Avatuba, people like Zakaba, George Solo, the other people. He left them down in the trenches. And he decided to move on with people that were not with him. And he gave himself a major speech again. He did not try to separate to balance it, and he went on again reaction as people, so these were some of the same people that caused problem for him. So he had not really recognized that yet. But I think when he reached to a point, he will somehow recognize that particular statement he made, because those people went against him. They went to other institutions. Talking about President Weah coming back. If President Weah come back, I will appreciate that. Will be good for that. Will be very good for our democracy to see a defeated president coming back to contest in an election again. That'll be for the first, as it will be corrected. That may be one of the first time in our history for a defeated president and lost an election to come back to recontest again. I've seen it in Ghana with John Mahama. He lost election and he came back. He contested an election again. So if President Weah come back, that will be good for our democracy. That we can have a good democratic system in Liberia. That our former president can come back. But nevertheless, George Weah still have a base. It cannot be taken from him. The Southeast and other area, that's a base. If it were not for Nyemah County, this election were going the other way. We know that. So he has it. So we should give it to him.
Okay. So all right, Mala Jones.
Yes, sir.
As we just said before, I bring in Jeru here. So there are some things that were in the president's speech. CDC laws for Liberia one. That's been admitted to the reality. He's also politically, in the long term, keeping the incoming party on edge, even though we are defeated. Sustainability of a political institution, the CDC. We are a young party, young forces, young people. Even though we are defeated today, but that's not the end of the world. Putting the incoming government or the incoming ruling party on a where we are not going to be like a dead party. We are not going to be like a NDPL and all of it. Why he didn't say, and we can't say for now, he didn't tell us whether he going to be a standard bearer. Who knows? There might be a new face. Who that face would be, that's a different talking point. He also recognized how polarized the country is, the danger that we saw, how the process went, and look at the votes. This side, that side, like what my brother is preaching now. So we undo the policy aspect of this political party. We never had a chance to really scrutinize it. The politics of Liberia has been segmented into sectionalism, tribal to regional, or what have you. So it didn't give the electorate the opportunity to make those sort of choices and go through the gap to say, well, I'm voting because of this guy, educational policy, his infrastructure plan, his agriculture plan, how much he intends to invest into education. That was not the case. Was that a good strategy on the part of the president? We'll be back.
Well, I think President Weah is entitled to his future survival. He's also entitled to coming back to recontest these elections. But President Weah coming back to recontest in 2029 will depend on the success and the failure of the Unity Party. If the Unity Party performs dismally, I think President Weah will be energized to revisit his lost popularity and catch up. But if the Unity Party perform credibly beyond expectation, taking into consideration some of the ill we've been talking about in the We Are government and try to set that tone that they are ready for leadership. The CDC is an institution. And the past 6 years, I did not see we are building that institution. The institution was characterized with militancy rather than policy and leadership. So if that same trend continue, I don't think CDC is even going to come back, even when Unity Party performed dismally. But the statement, I strongly believe my catch in our statement was, it was intended to sustain and stabilize the ongoing peace.
Right.
Yes. It was already intended to stabilize the peace and give his boys the hope that there's a light in the tunnel for the future. You see? And that was a perfect leadership approach.
Right.
And so, others are saying that Joseph Boakai did some things in the past for which, he did something in the past based on his scope of leadership at that time. The leadership has been elevated now. So I would want to judge him by his elevation. Is he going to learn from the ills and do something good? So I will be judging His Excellency Ambassador Boakai, President-elect, based on his 100-day deliverables. That's the first thing. And secondly, the argument that George made a lot of error. Yes. But if George error was based on the type of contingency he built to help him run the government, I say no. George error came from issues arising from his government that I can point out in the form of leadership. Yes, not in the form of, because George believed in those who he brought. He believed in them that they could deliver. All right, so the buck started with him. So I would judge George based on issues that were not actually handled to my expectation, but probably that could have been his way of leadership or handling things. Were they perfect? He the only person can answer that.
Okay, Gibson Gerald, let me just bring you in here so you will get some out of your chest. I'm wondering here what specifically the President Weah was communicating, even with the incoming government. He made it clear we are going to come back 2029, still determined. My guess, I don't know how much, but I might guess they still have, if they want to sustain the party, they can still build a party, and preparation starts from the early stages. You don't wait until in the dying minute, especially for elections. It requires adequate preparation. The country is divided. No, the elections were organized with promises of peace and fairness. Should we put this to rest? And what message were he sending to the incoming president? What is the strategy here?
First of all, let me recognize. Hello.
Yeah.
I need to be muted. Somebody, to do that.
Let me see.
Okay, thank you, Cote. I was able to piece together 11 highlights from President Weah's acceptance speech. When he was speaking, I was on another platform and I was picking up these things. The first thing Weah did was to recognize that the numbers that he has were not going to surpass Joseph Boakai's number for him to win. Joseph Boakai was leading at this point 1.16%. That was about almost 29,000 votes. And so the last number of votes in Grand Cru is 18,000 votes. So if you took 18,000 from 28 or 29,000, you still have pretty much about 10 or 11,000 more votes. there's a rerun that is going in Nyemah, and that area is not quite 200 votes. That will not amount to anything.
300, yeah, 300.
Yeah, so definitely George Weah recognized that Joseph Boakai number was higher, and he recognized that. The second point I recognized from his speech was, he said the true winners are Liberians by their peaceful conduct. Now, he recognized that Liberians conducted themselves in a peaceful manner. That was a great thing that he did, recognize the Liberians. He also said, the third one was, he said the elections were organized by his promise to make sure that they were peaceful and fair. And I think he's right, because he made sure that peace prevailed and he allowed fairness to take place. He did not coerce the election commission to cheat on his behalf. He could have done that. Maybe they would have attempted, whether it was going to be fatal or not fatal. Well, but he would have attempted that, but he didn't do that. He's one of the first African presidents who allowed the election commission to operate without being pressured. In our Liberian system, we believe that this is novel. It's novel. It's a good thing. The fourth one was the country was divided. He recognized that the country was divided, indicative of the numbers. Somebody have 49 point something percent, and another person have 50%, something percent. That's about maybe 28,000 votes difference. That divide Liberia. That was half and half, almost half and half. The other thing is, I can't go all through all of them. They said there was a danger. He said there is a danger in division. Now, I want you to look at the way he told his story. He recognized the defeat. He recognized Liberians' effort for peace. He also recognized his own promise to peace and fairness. He recognized the division, but then he said to his people, there is danger in division. So he believed that unity is paramount. Now he's coming back now to summer, to create a summer ground for everyone. Unity is paramount. And he said, I am deeply grateful to seditions and reaction. How else can this man ever speak? The people that support him. Everyone that voted for him are considered either sedition or reaction. Right. You can be a UPist and go UP partisan and vote for George Weah. You will not do it. So long you vote for George Weah, I mean you are not sedition, you are a reaction. That's why he says sedition and reaction. I don't know why people have a problem with that. Then he said, follow my example. That's how leaders behave. Follow my example and accept the results. Then he says, CDC has lost. Liberia has won. Then he said, this is a place for unity. We should place unity above party and place patriotism above politics. This is one of the excellent speeches I've ever heard from George Weah. If this was how he was going to be speaking on issues, I think we're going to have a very, very great administration. But here is my problem. George Weah may come back, except, and I think Mr. Marley here said that if George Weah will come back, it has to be contingent upon what Joseph Boakai does. I want to see the first 5 people Joseph Boakai is going to appoint to be part of the transitional team. I want to see the first 5 cabinet members that he's going to appoint. I want to see who are in his cabinet. I want to see how these people are behaving. Now, remember, Prince Johnson is on the train. Joseph Boakai activity with Prince Johnson will bring Liberia back to the realization, I don't know what will move George Weah for. You're kind of to make Prince Johnson to do this or to do that. And then that can bring our Liberian people, they could say, they could regret. Even some people regretting Champion though today, even though they were causing yesterday. Some people even regretting that we Chancellor was chased out of here. They wanted Chancellor back. So as the 6 years goes on, if Joseph Boakai lived through the 6 years, which I pray he does, and what he does will tell the Liberian people whether removing George Weah was a good decision or a bad decision. But if, then God forbid, if Joseph Boakai does not live through the 6 years, and I pray that he lived through the 6 years, in the middle of the years, he is gone, and Jeremiah Kuhn has to continue. There will be a rift between Unity Party and LDR. Because at this point, Unity Party is no longer a ruling party, LDR becomes a ruling party with Jeremiah becoming president to succeed the president, what does he do with he and Prince Johnson will tell the Liberian people that Joshua can come back? And that's what we all need to look at. Is Joseph going to go through? Is he going to resign? Not just death. You can say, look, I'm old. Jeremiah can continue. So Jeremiah is now president. How much proximity that Prince Johnson has with Jeremiah and power will tell the Liberian people whether we are going back into the abyss of war or our government is going to survive and progress. And Liberian people can say, people, we have to move Jeremiah, I will make mistake. Jeremiah, come back. And at that point in time, I will be vice presidential candidate.
Okay. When we get to that river, we'll cross it. You stress out something here, Dr.
And you will not win, Jerry. You will not win.
And let me bring you in here, Dr. Toto. It is too early, but the expectation of people, Liberians, all of us, people like quick fix. Sooner or later, after everything else, say, okay, we had a conversation. Okay, it's now we are time now. It's time for you to fix it. Will people be tolerant? Will they know? Especially when the way government works, not everybody knows about that. It's not like a private entity. It's not like a private entity. You know what to do. There will be a huge, not even there way. There's a huge challenge. You have a civil servant. You have other minister. He's coming in. There was some sort of leak appointment. I don't want to do that. Is he coming with all of those people appointed by George Weah? Would they be going out of job? I mean, there are a lot of things factors. What are you looking forward to see a challenge or to say, okay, we will get something done? What could be a potential challenge here with the Boakai administration? What do you think going on within the Boakai Obic world now? Politics are discussing like Gibson was talking about. We want to see the transitional team and all of those people, even ministers. What could be the challenge?
Let me get full. You talking about George?
Yeah, George, Dr. Toto.
Oh, okay. I thought you were asking me. I wanted to give you 4 things right away, but go ahead, George.
Just pick up from what Gibson was saying. If you look at some of the challenges that the government being faced with, or fellow panelists, we see high expectation from Liberians. They want for the government to be successful. In the 100 days, we'll be looking at Joseph Boakai leadership to give a fair analysis of how his government would look in the future, look at 100 days. It will be based upon the people that he will appoint around him, his cabinet ministers that he will be appointed, will be looking at the cabinet minister. And when the Liberian people see those that be appointed by Joseph Boakai, they want to see Liberia in the appointment. They want to see the whole country. When somebody sit in total, let me pick on the laborer. When somebody sit in total, when they look at Joseph Boakai cabinet, they want to see representation in that cabinet. When somebody sit in Lofa County, when the cabinet being composed, they want to see Lofa County in that cabinet across the length and breadth of Liberia. So those will be some of the challenges. How well he going to balance them to have a diversified cabinet that reflect the whole of Liberia. So those are things that Joseph Boakai will try to work along with technocrat people, qualified people that have competence, that can do the job, that will reflect the will of the people. So those are things that Liberia want to see, and I want to see also too.
You also want to see. Liberal blowing the trumpet here, and in one of Ambassador Boakai laid something he said he was going to have a government of inclusion, so everybody going to be more or less participating. Liberal, finally his wishes come to reality now. Perfecting that into actions, that's another thing. What can you say to the ambassadors? What could be his? What should he be doing now?
Thank you, Mr. So. And those of you who have not seen Gibson perform on many other occasions, you just saw that think that we can't talk, that what Kissing can't talk. Think we can talk behind the back, that what Kissing can bring in from. But anyway, let me say this here. Let me be a little bit ridiculous, then I'll go on to be serious a little bit. I think the president concession speech conceding here tonight was wonderful, but I will go a little further than that. I think he was really upset. I think he recognized how these people have lied to him, and so now I bet there were some people in our war room or in our cabinet room or whatever. Mr. President, I think we can push this because they beat him by 1.8%. So I think if it was any other African country, hey, you're not going to concede. He's going to say, let's go to court. Let's do a rerun, whatever the Constitution allows. But I think, and I'm being ridiculous, I think he was upset with them. And he's saying, I'm not a fighter. I'm not a violent man. I'm a peaceful man. The man won. Let's go ahead. Now, the interesting thing here, Mr. So, as I've always stated on my own show from time to time, is that this leadership, president, and things like that, if you're not there, if you're not on top of the hill, everything else is, but when you get there and you look around, you will yell, say, what? That is you are facing with. But the good thing about this with Ambassador Boakai, he has the experience. He has seen it before. So most likely, if they do it properly, like Dr. Toto said, if they find out what is happening and invite technocrats to say, let's help to bring the country, even if those technocrats not going to finish the time, but to initiate the process, then I think they will do well. But if he comes in, so something to always talking go on LPR for me, I'll bring, he's a nightmare, I will bring it on, man. And something to can't even claim a hell. And you bring something to who is unable at this stage to do anything, then I think you will fail. Young people who have the ability to do stuff, and not because they're singing praises to you. If you leave those praise singers out and get their position, but not to the point of trying to direct people who will be in direct position to be able to move the country forward. Those people need to be like the Amara Kone, people like that. There are many Liberians, young Liberians at that rate that will be able to do that. But if you go back, like I stated, and you say you're going to pick people who were your praise singer, and you start saying you're coming around me, then I think we're going to have a long, long night to go, Mr. Saul.
Okay, 30 seconds. Let's go to the line, and I'll come back to the other panelists here. Mikey, go ahead. Let's hear you.
Hi to everybody on the panelists tonight. I'm so happy. First of all, let me start with Dr. Toto. Dr. Toto, when we went wrong as a citizen of Boakai County, when we went wrong. But anyway, we'll have that conversation. This is not Nyemah. He knows me very well. I want to say thanks to the liberal. He's been one of those individuals who have been pushing the agenda of changing our country. I want to tell you that. So tonight, I want to give you your flower. I'll call you personally to tell you thank you. Even though George, the people from Atlanta, the communist camp, they have not recognized that yet. But I want to tell you thank you, Papa. Secondly, what happened tonight? Okay. Now I can play my kids with it.
I'm loved on this platform.
To get this calamity out of our way. Don't you have to trade off. It's disappointed or you frustrated out. I want to know young individual who has been abused. I advocated for him to come in power. The first thing I went and made George was he promised me not telling me that he was going to implement World Crime Code. He never did. And what hurt me the most is that terrible thing happened in the country. He never spoke on it. He kept quiet. And to add insult against injury, he said that those auditors who died, that they were doing their woman president at Wall Street. What a leader. But I'm so happy tonight wherever you are tonight, I just want to say you guys
thank you so much.
Well.
All right.
And we will continue to challenge Joseph Nyemah Boakai. If the team came in position, easily to battle to contend with. We're not going to joke with him, brother. Wherever you are, if you listen to me, that's the you can to contend.
Thank you so much.
We will come against you.
Okay.
Lastly, I want to say that Mr. So, the platform has been one of the most powerful platform on the internet. Keep it up. But please, don't go against our labor. The last time the show, I want to say something, but I don't know my feet. Please, don't leave the labor. You have to leave me alone. Please. Yeah.
Oh, so you will have a way.
Yeah.
So you will have a way here. So you will have his way, right? Okay, thank you.
Well, the way you have a way, that put you again, that we all know the truth. Why it has to be something in the place. One lie, the labor to have a will. You beg me your place on the platform here.
All right.
We don't know now because of that, but we're not going to but labor, you can come on the platform. So you can go by around. You labor.
Oh my God.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. You want to start trouble here. Emoji, I don't mind it. Something can bribe people to come here so that we're pressing. Esther, let's hear you quickly before I go back to the guys.
Yeah, hello, Mr. So, and hello to the panelists.
How are you?
Congratulations to Mr. To, and Terry, and my sister, also. Congratulations on new president-elect and the Liberian people, you know. It's a new day. It's a beautiful thing that democracy can play in the African country. And I think the president coming out to speak was good because with the social media, there are different informations. Right. People were saying, oh, the president will not accept it, there will be a fight, back and forth, but at the end of the day, he came out to speak. And that is what we have been talking about from the beginning of his presidency, to come and address the people who are concerned about something, come and talk to us. You are there to be working for us, but today's a new day, and we just hope that the new government coming in, they will know that Liberians have knowledge now. It is not like before where elections were held, no internet system, no phones, so that anything could go wrong. Nobody will know what is going on in Lofa or in Green Chile except the regular news bringing. Now people have smartphones. They can just take the pictures of result and send it to the chat room. So it is different time we're in, and as the government coming in, they will know that Liberians have knowledge now, and thanks to the platforms that we have, like LPR, that is balanced. Sometimes I disagree with them, but at the end of the day, give the people power, give them knowledge. Knowledge is very, very important. When somebody knows something, they're able to make a good decision, and that's what your platform have been doing. But thank you again, Mr. So, for everything, and you and the panelists there, even though I disagree with part two sometimes, but congratulations to him again.
Yeah. Tell the man you disagree with him, what you want to ask sometime there for. You're not know that man yet. You always see him flipping all year in 1-2 months for you. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, let me go back to the panelists. Was that Dr. Toto? Was that you? No, you spoke already, right?
No, I've not spoken. You asked.
I think that Casey was supposed to come in.
Yeah. So quickly here, one of the callers here, Kemon, who said he supported Dr. Weah, mentioned with his war crime code. With this war crime code, will it still be an issue? With that something the incoming president, is that something you will address, or we just need to bury it right now?
You see here, I named like 10 reasons why Joseph Boakai government will be in problem. One of that is what you just touched on. For Joseph Boakai to excel, the belief of Liberians is that people like Prince Johnson and their likes have not been disciplined, justice has not been served on them. Can Joseph Boakai institute or call for or request the United Nations to institute or constitute a war crimes court, that would be a no. You cannot have the devil eating with you and you say, I'm going to kill you tomorrow. The devil will kill you before you kill him. So the moment Joseph Boakai start talking about war crimes court, I will not be surprised if there's a coup d'etat and Prince Johnson declare himself head of state. So Joseph Boakai will not go there. The second thing is, Joseph Boakai will not prosecute people in the early government who were indicted by the GSC. Who is John Molu, who is now supporting Joseph Boakai. John Molu Commission indicted several ministers, including Augustine Ngafwan, for stealing millions of dollars. Can Joseph Boakai bring these people and say, look, we got to go after these people. They were corrupt. They were indicted by the GSC. And Ellen did not let it happen, even though our vice president didn't have a voice. Now I'm my own man now. I got to prosecute them. Can he do that? It's a negative. He cannot do that. Because if he does that, it means he's going to be all his men that he depend on are the one that he's going to be putting into mess. The other thing that Joseph Boakai has to be very careful with, is he capable of actually controlling his government? Can Joseph Boakai actually look at Anthony Kesseley? Because Anthony Kesseley might be the prime minister of Liberia, if you're not mistaken. Can he look at him and say, Anthony, bring me that concession agreement, the report you're bringing, I'm not sure of it. You bring me the summary, let me read it myself. Can he do that? Those guys will bring paper to the paper. We get the people hard time today. They ended up agreeing to us. Yes, son. And he will sign. And who will be eating? Anthony Kesseley will be eating. Gafwa will be eating. Alara Toba will be eating. Steve Quia will be eating. Jacob Kabakori will be eating. These are the people that will run our government. And that's how Liberian people will start losing respect and trust in them. And they'll start thinking, oh, we shouldn't have even done that, but we did it anyways, and that Liberian always make a mistake. This particular mistake Liberian made to elect Joseph Boakai, it will haunt us. Joseph Boakai government will be far corrupt than any government in Liberia.
Okay, I had to put a time frame on it. What you're saying, if it goes on the contrary, will you come back here to
I like that question, Mr. So.
Which I know it will be impossible, but if Joseph Boakai performs,
because this video here, there's no, you don't have authority. You good.
There's no way I have the authority.
So you can't delete this.
If Joseph, I'm promising you today, and everybody who is listening to me, if Joseph Boakai write a letter to the United Nations and say, Liberia went through a bloody war and there are criminals among us, warlords who kill a lot of people, they have to face justice, and I want you to establish a tribunal in Liberia. If Joseph Boakai, just that one alone, Joseph Boakai come here, I will openly apologize to Ambassador Joseph Boakai for ever uttering statement like that.
Okay.
First of all, he's older than me. To apologize to him will not be even hard. And two, I'm a journalist, and retraction and apology of your work it brings credibility and trust. So that also can help me to do that. But I tell you, my brother, let me tell you one more thing. Guys, are you kidding me? What happens if Joseph Boakai was gone tomorrow morning? What will the Liberian people think? What happens if Joseph Boakai, even while celebrating, he's so happy, and tomorrow morning he comes to America and will no longer be able to go back to Liberia, and Jeremiah Kun becomes president? What would the Liberian people think about Jeremiah Kun's proximity to Prince Johnson in power? Are you not scared? Are you not afraid? Look, we are in a mess. This is the worst decision that Liberians have made.
Okay, thank you so much. Cotto, and then Terry will come in here because Gibson. Yeah, so I mean, there's not going to be a strange thing. The GOL, obviously, the people going to turn to opposition. We have seen that, right? And Ellen Johnson, they were there. Motorbike that she will go beyond rusted bar. Nobody went behind the bar. So I wouldn't be surprised before even inauguration, you're going to see the attack dogs from the CDC. They're going to come after that, and it will be edified. I tell you that. Cotto.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. So, Gibson sounds like hashi the egg before the chicken can even lay its eggs. That's why it sounds like this is not a man who going to be running a government by heart. This is a man who have gone in government. He have worked in government. This is not by hearting what we are saying. Just take friends and thing. The man have said it. He said, "This is a job you will have to be qualified to occupy a position." In the first place, he has said it like in 6 months' time that you as a minister might be able to come out to give a plan of your ministry. So where somebody just going to come from to just be overnight, you're just going to be minister that you don't know your hair or your tail. And besides, we have seen, I don't know why there's so much particular about them, the VP. Is he not a Liberian? Is he not qualified? And when we start keeping that kind of mentality, it makes you to put yourself in a defending, mood. You have not even sat there with a person. Now you're concluding. Have you dealt with Mr. Kuhn personally to think that he would just take decision from what they call Prince Johnson? This was a man who was in the ADR. When Prince Johnson decided to take the route to go and support WIA, he chose not to support WIA, and he went and supported Boakai. So is it not this time that he would just be there and Prince Johnson would say, use it as a robot, do this and do that? For me, I don't foresee that coming. Okay? So you guys should start premeditating your day as a campaign. It didn't work. So now, this is a man who knows what his job is. He's just not going to sit there. He has said it. And I want to see the 100 days like we have planned. Yeah. Let's see in the first place whether he will start auditing, like he said, because I know he's just not going to just jump in the government like some haircut chicken. No.
But do you think you want to go through that process? Those are things. Yes, those of you who support, to go through that audit. And it sounds so ridiculous. When people hear audit, they think it's a witch hunt. That's not a witch hunt. Just to verify where you're meeting, where you're starting from. What happens if that is not done?
No, for me, I would find it difficult for his leadership if he doesn't do that. Because, for example, I'm an accountant. I have been an accountant before. Before an accountant take over from his successor, you must, we call it an audit. You do your personal audit, which is cash counting and giving a turnover notes. Those are things that you look at. You don't just take over from your successor and just go ahead and start working like some haircut. You must read the person.
What's about this ticket work, whatever called war crime, economic crime code? I get my own view. This is a sticky thing here. Will he go down right as well, you think? Is that something?
This is something that they all have been advocating. And for me, everybody just looking at Prince Johnson. The very
too much in the
very Jerry man now, when they start calling the other war laws, he will start saying they're hunting our crown people. They have people in Grand Jury as well as on they are all war laws. So we are looking at everybody. It's not with the Prince Johnson. So let us take this mentality all that is Prince Johnson. We have so many of them listed.
All right.
Our eyes now on Prince Johnson, we're looking at the economic crime and the war crime code. And they will start the process, whatever they have started. And Boakai was in the government and they started the process. This was something that they have started and they went to some level. It came to WIA did not even take one step. So, this is something they are looking at. I'm not saying that as soon as he gets to power, it's going to be automatic. I would not. I would not expect that. For me, I am
Can I respond to all 5 seconds?
No, I'm not here for dialogue.
I will come to you. Let me incite. We're not going to have comments and George will respond.
It becomes dialogue.
Yeah, I don't want to have
just a 10-second response.
1 second. Let me insert Terry and that of Jones. Jones, I want to make you the laugh because you and I, we are the independent mind on this network. Amos George, something to George Toto.
I have not spoken yet, so just go ahead. I know I have not spoken yet. I know I take a side, and I still stand by my side. I don't support George Weah. I don't support Boakai. Go ahead, let Terry speak. I will speak.
Then, President, you still not support? Then why you here?
I will speak. Don't worry. When my time reaches, I will respond.
Okay, Terry, let me bring you in here. The problem with us, we all try to protect our own alligators. And this is where the field leadership comes in. People profess to love, to like, to admire. They not know you, they know you, you're like, but we do not. I'm not saying we should disrespect our leaders. I'm not talking about people who cause, who they, but there's a way. Even if you're a cabinet minister, you can raise your finger after the meeting and have audience with the president. Mr. President, I think that decision, you shouldn't take that. Very few people, you can't even count it, they can't even be few, all because they want to protect their job. Do you think from this, and when I listen to President Weah today, you can notice from his tone, his voice, the deception to people that he taught or people that he felt that he trusted. They let him down. I will listen to one of the series in there when they start calling some of the names. And I know because some of these conversations have come up. Do you think these people who the ambassador going to be bringing, he's a elderly man, we must all know that. And so he will want to rely. Even, I don't care whatever wisdom you have, you need to have a team that will be there. And one of the persons that I see will be a close confidant. And what I'm saying, I wouldn't be surprised when he's brought to the mansion is Senator-elect Amara Conning. Because Conant really restructured and presented Ambassador Boakai in a different form, context than any other persons on his campaign to get him to be where he is today. He put NEC on edge, whether his view is right or not, but it was something that he presented that compelled them to do something. Those are the kind of people here. Do you think people want to be honest, or they're going to take advantage of he being the nice old man, oh yeah, ambassador, we're being in the trenches, we're being crying on the Facebook, and then they will start doing the same thing that they did to Ambassador Boakai. Will you guys, where those people come out and speak their mind in an honest fashion? I'm not talking about insulting.
Mr. So Liberia politics is polarized with people who are seek offensive. So I do not think, to answer your question directly, that people will be honest with the president. No. Even right now, you see what happened to President Weah, as we are hearing gossip, Eugene Nangwe have left him and gone. And other people are also leaving him too. There will be rush it. The moment President Weah leave power, you will hear some people say, oh, we used to tell it, man. He never used to listen to us. So Liberia, the how Liberia is. But something I captured, all right, from the discussion that was going on that I decided to write down, you know, like I said, things that is expected to happen after the injured leaves. Number one, we are looking at JMB cabinet. JMB cabinet will be an issue. Right now, the injured have left. You talk about Amara Conant. Amara Conant was just used by the injured to just come and help Ambassador Boakai win these elections. Now it is left with Ambassador Boakai now to invite God and wisdom to be able to select his cabinet, because when the injured leaves, the first decision you make will determine the trajectory of your government. And that will have to be with your cabinet. And the cabinet is expected to come from the MDR, the LP, and you know, from Mr. Cooper party. These were the people that first embraced, you know, the ideology of the ambassador that projected him today to be the president. So you got to consider that these people have people that need to be part of that government. All right. And you also have the late opposition parties, the likes of Apeton, the likes of the guy from the ACO. These people need something. They did not join you just because they want to join you. So everybody is coming for something. So the cabinet is going to reflect these images that we got to take into consideration. And these people are coming with their own ways, their own attitudes, and their own behavior. So we will expect a lot of things that will happen that may not go down well with the Liberian people in very early ages of this leadership. But it depends on how President Boakai handle it. If he carelessly handle it, it will affect him deeply. Another thing that may happen after the injured leave is the people who have been expecting to be picked that will not be picked to be part of the cabinet. All right? They are thought within themselves that they projected Ambassador Boakai as the president today, and they demand or they want to have position, they must have it. And because they did not get it, they might likely swing on him and become a serious critic to say some things that we do not expect. So there are many things that are jotted down, but one of the things you guys were saying here that took my attention that I label as the first fall away by the people will be Ambassador Boakai do not firstly declare his assets, all right, and also reveal to the Liberian people how much you have in the economy, how much have President Weah left with you. Those are some of the things that Ambassador Boakai need to do. Number two, think about trying to install the War and Economic Crime Code. If you don't install the War and Economic Crime Code, at least install the Economic Crime Code and a means of reconciliation. Also, reconciliation code. I think if you don't do that, it's going to be a problem. Auditing, all right? Auditing previous government and all of that. If you don't do that, it's going to be a problem. You have to set up the audit that Terry Johnson has. So yeah, too much.
This your laundry list here. That's an industrial washing machine going to accommodate that. Amos Joyce, let me bring you and bring you the independent guy.
It's too much. I don't want to.
Yeah, that your laundry. When I get a washer, we don't have a washer machine. But Amos Joyce.
Yeah.
So let's hear from you. So I mean, there's no easy way out here. And if I could just add a little layer to that question, and I will transfer that to Mali to add up to his. It's not just one of them, but how the surrogates. Will they still be campaigning, or will they be in a consolatory tone now because they're going to be getting in the governing stage? And will they still be that the words, the high tone, will we still be hearing them? And if they are not all upon after 1 month, after 2 months, what's going to happen? People were not stressing their vein, their neck, they're carrying their pressure up, headache for nothing. Nothing's for nothing. Anybody tells you I'm doing this because I love Liberia, that's baloney. Something is inside for them. They also get something. You have to survive before you talk about it. So what do you think the ambassador needs to do? Too much is ongoing right now. We are on the next thing. We're going to see a transition and how it's going to play out, and they got to kick the ball to start rolling.
Look, it would be a tough thing for the president like Joseph Boakai to navigate this ship here. So some are waiting to see the list of the cabinet. And you know, for me, I'm clear on this. I'm very proponent of the War and Economic Crime Code of Liberia. That one, nothing was swimming from it. Joseph Boakai, Jeremiah Kun told us that they support the War and Economic Crime Code. That is no bring up a. We're going to continue to hold that government feet to the fire for that. He talked about audit. I heard John Maru said there was report already that he's going to follow it. Now we want to see the implementation of that audit that John Maru spoke about, that they're going to follow that. Joseph Boakai had not been definitively clear whether he's going to audit his own government that he was part of. And I question that he must be definitive to say they will edit the alien government. He had not been clear on that. So all these things put together, we have right to be concerned whether he will live up to the expectation of the Liberian people, the voters. Now the question here is, you ask me what I voted. No, I never supported Joseph Boakai. Never. And I never supported the CDC. It was my right and principle in which I believe in. I know some people call me undemocratic, but the question I ask people, you call me undemocratic, I accept it, that is a view. But you had two devils. I have seen the two devil dance. And the Liberian people had choice. They had choices. It was not only Joseph Boakai and George Weah race. There were other competent Liberians there. And because they choose to take one of the old devil, therefore, if I don't go to follow that old devil, then I'm unpatriotic. No. It is because their view, their value, did not align with my value or principles. So I'm very proud to say that I did not support none of the candidates. Whoever supported them, tomorrow we'll speak that for another day. Now let me say something about Jeremiah Kuhn. Let me push back on Koto. We are not seeing Jeremiah Kuhn working, as you said. But I have seen Jeremiah Kuhn working. I have seen some of the statements he has made. He made a regular statement in Basel, which I call him on this very network. And the other day, Jerome Gibson, on the system network, he was called, and Jerome asked him a question. And Jeremiah Kuhn said he could not answer the question, and he would not speak to Gibson Jerome because Jerome and the senator-elect, Yaya Nyemah of Nigeria, had adapted a tape. So therefore, he will not speak to Jerome. Now the question that comes to mind, even though you disagree and you are now the VP, if I said something, why would you want to start talking to me as a Liberian? Answer my question. I don't know. I didn't do it. But he said no. He was not speaking to Gibson Jeru. Is that the kind of vice president who won? No. And that's why I question these people. You may disagree with me, fine. But he said it, and Jerome said, can attest to it. I was listening to the program that day, and I said that was absolutely wrong. He should have told Jerome, look, I did not say what the senator-elect said. I disagree with him. But he vehemently said he would not speak to Gibson Jeru on that issue. And he did not speak to Gibson Jeru. Then it brings the question, is that the kind of leadership that we want in Liberia? Absolutely no. Let me go on the other side. The issue of George Weah, I want to leave it, but let me comment. The issue of George Weah calling for unity. I wonder, why George Weah be calling for unity this time? What did he do as president to unite the country? What did he do the 6 years? He helped to divide the country. Now he's leaving, he's calling for unity. That is shame. He helped to divide the country. 75 to 80% of the cabinet came from the Southeast. The government was not a true representation of the Liberian people. It was him. Every diplomatic position was from the Southeast. At the end of the day, Mobama was the chairman of the party. He pushed him aside and brought in Eugene Nambe to be cabinet chairman. And the Salam Molo. So, President Weah, I get it. That was a statement you made. But deep into it, you didn't reconcile the country. And there will be a time for that discussion. Let me rest there.
Okay, let's bring in the independent mind on this network. That's the beauty of the Liberia Public Radio. We allow views and opinions to be expressed, even if we disagree with them. That's the beauty of national discourse. Jones Malley, you will be the March Commissioner. You heard Amos Joyce. Amos Joyce, it looked like, I'm not sure in the next couple of days, week, how he and the Liberals, it looked like things going to intensify. We hope not yet. But let's, you listen to your colleagues, panelists here, dissecting their views. And you have been speaking out on a variety of issues here as well. Now, the issue of George, we are now more or less we're going to tackle it because what is ahead is what we want to focus. What can we do now? The challenges facing. We discuss them, we critique them. We must also make recommendations as to how the people that listen to these things here. Let me hear from you. Where do you have disagreement with all of these guys here? Because two of us here, we're the only person here. Who do you disagree or agree with? Something to, wow, what is it?
Well, I think the issue on the platform tonight is about post-election governance.
Right.
But we fail to realize that as African politicians, political elections are not the same as political governance. And this is where most of the politicians mess up when they get into office.
Explain.
The election has taken place. Going into the executive mansion is now where you're trying to show your managerial skills, how to manage people, and looking into their welfare and enforcing and making sure your promises are fulfilled. So there where the challenge come in. And Joseph Boakai is coming at a time when there are so much challenges left behind. And probably we have to give him the benefit of the doubt as an independent mind rather than to crucify him at this time. But lest we forget, Joseph Boakai has got a political brand name. And that political brand name is associated with transparency, accountability, probity, good governance, and corruption-free gentleman. He got a brand name. And so we expect him to perform within the scope of his brand name. So any attempt to deviate from his brand name is going to be a problem. Now, one. Two, we realize that the issue of appointment, George, we are appointed most of his people based on the battle cry and the assistance they gave him during the election, whether they were qualified or not. So the president-elect will be between the merit system and electing people on the basis of how they brought him to power. And we're going to be watching that keenly. All right? And the next thing here is that I think the Unity Party-led government should be mindful of now building what I call a recycled team of politicians. Some of them are stigmatized with high controversy in past and present political issues. That's going to be a problem for the Unity-led government. So the issue of new faces, new blood, new leaf, new focus, I think it will help Joseph Boakai a lot. Joseph Boakai brand name may not trickle down to all the people that are going to work with him. People are coming into this government with different focus, different objective, different aim. You see? So at the end of the day, we expect, as of now, I can tell you emphatically, Joseph Boakai political leadership style. I don't know it. No. Until he start to perform. I yield.
So we're going to time a quarter or we're going to do 2 minutes each as we.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
Are you not?
Are you not? Excuse the Deborah.
Okay, I don't know. Look, you've got to be. You got to.
Let me just say there very, very quickly. This is the worst night of LPR ever that I've seen. And the night that you guys have demonstrated here tonight, so ridiculous. Ambassador Boakai just won the election, and you're going to have Emo Joyce to come here to try to relitigate the election. You're going to get Jeru here and
I'm just telling. I'm just making my
parade. Why we supposed to be here jubilating? You bring in Gibson Jeru, try to ring on our parade, and then you have Mali. Mali of up and you call it independent. We're independent. This is the worst night of LPR that I have ever seen. But I give it. I think we all play into it, but I'm not playing into it anymore. This is what I'm going to tell all of you. Your Tabata analysis you're bringing on, you better leave the old man alone. Let the old man settle down a little bit. Let's see what he's going. Then you're sitting on here. The man will not do this. He will not do that. Since when you guys become Jesus Christ to try to tell us what the future is going to look like? That's just ridiculous on LPR here tonight. This is what I'm going to say to you. This man has the ability to lead, and he will demonstrate his leadership ability. Look, you guys, wow. LPR, you surprised me tonight. And you're going to have Emo Joyce saying, I don't like that. That you like business that you like him we finish the election over. We finish winning. The man has won. Leave it as that. Tell us what you think that I don't want to call percent. So please, Mr. George, just go back to Atlanta, like the caller said. He said, go back to Atlanta and stay over there. Mr. Scott, I will tell you this before. I thought you were going to give us the opportunity tonight. Those of us who, I don't know those people, I admire him. But I tell you are going to give us the opportunity to at least jubilate, to show how happy we are.
The president, listen. That dancing, your dance and dance until the country is what it is. We are already happy all we want to do now is
No,
to
Mr.
give-
So, but you got to let me finish. Other people, you let them talk. You let him judge them, and you call malice analysis of how do you call it? What's the D? I don't even know now. But the point here, Mr. So, is this. Ambassador Boakai, look, you guys are not doing good here tonight.
How you call him?
Boakai, immediately after the first round, he made a speech where he told all Liberians, hands on deck. He never left anybody behind. Then you guys gonna start speculating. Hey, he might not even bring the other person. Oh, he bring that kind of person, the person we know you before. Y'all know them. So y'all want us to go to Guinea and Ghana and Nigeria to go borrow people to come and help us to lead our country? We will use Liberians to lead the country. We will use Liberians to be able to do the work for the country. This is an embarrassing situation tonight on LPR, Mr. So.
The liberal progressive. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, that's the beauty. We always allow people to speak their mind, but we know the country get a lot to do, so we're going to be moving around. Closing argument, you listen to your colleagues, your agreement, disagreement. We always keep it in a safer context as usual here, and for the good of our analysts, we've been holding everybody accountable. So why you want to sanction Amos Joyce here tonight? Why are you getting a Mally Jones? I don't understand. Why you didn't pick a Tarek or Cotto or Dr. Cotto? Do you in agreement with them?
Of course. These are people that are saying the truth here tonight. You look at the Titato. Mali down here, Gessie in the middle, Emo George on the top. The Titato. Then you come in here, you come to bring somebody else to come and win. You're not winning here
The
tonight.
liberal.
You're not here to come play with y'all.
Oh my goodness. Okay, guys, let's do it as we critique. We can also make recommendations in our closing section before we leave. Who wants to go first? Liberal, you want to go first because you're on fire?
Well, I just want to say thank you very much. I appreciate it by LPR giving us the opportunity to once again say thank you to Ambassador Boakai, soon to be doctor, soon to be the president of the Republic of Liberia, the father of the nation. Mr. So, let me be serious a little bit. Ambassador Boakai does not have within him to be vindictive. Ambassador Boakai, I won't even be surprised if he called Gessin Jeru to see what kind of contribution Gessin Jeru can give to Liberia. I won't be surprised because he wants everybody to help. Let us give our father the opportunity to do what he has to do to move this country forward. What I will not accept is the notion that perhaps Liberia need to go outside to borrow for people to come. You got educated Liberians, young Liberians that have struggled to educate themselves. And you got Liberians, young Liberians that are still educating themselves. They have the quality. They have the qualification. They can lead, and we will use them. Whether you like it or not, we will use the Liberian people. Opposition and position, over position, we will use all of them. All of them. If you're not qualified, you better find a back door to Total. If you qualify, you work for Ambassador Boakai.
I like that, liberal.
Oh.
Samson
I don't think this guy gonna be going. He's gonna go off soon.
Samson
Okay.
you come here to eviscerate people's view. But let me say to you,
The guy is trying to speak.
Samson, will you please
I'm closing.
You finished?
Okay. I just want to make sure.
But you're not a moderator. Why question me?
That's how you want to do that?
You are not a moderator. So Samson, please. Is that how you're going to run your Joseph Boakai government by heart? Don't bring it to me. I'm not part of it. I don't want to be part of it. But let me say this.
Why you don't want to be with a big superintendent of Bon County? You're not go there.
No, let me say this. You're not going to tell us what time we should give the incoming president. As you always tell yourself, he has the experience. He will be hand on deck. And he must deliver. And we got to hold him accountable for those things. But I have seen this man. So I'm waiting to see, as Gibson was saying, the people around him. Let me see the appointment he's going to make. And you want to question me about Joseph Boakai. He was the chairman of Group of 77. He put his web there. Is that a corrupt? People who want to fight corruption? Huh? He was the vice president, chairman on the Group of 77. He put his web there. What changes did that institution make or have made?
Zero.
So you can't, don't go there with me. Don't go there with me. You won your election. If we are commenting, take our view and respect it and take the positive to help him. But you don't come here to tell her, well, it was a question the old man. He was old before he took the job. Then,
oh my
he was old, he took the job. So why you add a hand to his name? Don't I know other nomenclature there? He is the president and we will hold him accountable. Either you take it or you leave it. The War and Economic Crime Code. People were killed under the regime. Under Ellen Johnson's government. Permanent Liberian killed. We want to see those records. We want to see what investigation he's going to do. He can't just come and say we're going to investigate George Weah. No. Permanent people were killed under George Weah. We got that. But there are other permanent Liberians who were killed under the regime. So I expect Joseph Boakai to, when you speak of transparency, administering justice, what will happen to those cases? We call it cold cases. Now they got to open those files to know how the people were killed. Thank you. I'll see you people.
No, you can't just finish talking and then work.
No,
okay. Oh, okay. All right. Great. What a good conversation. These conversations, Liberal, they are meant to strengthen our democracy and society. So don't get in your feelings. Don't sentiment, emotions can't help it. I'm sorry, you can go visit other platform here. You see, Terry, that's why I tell a photo, Malay, they are calm, but you just, why you get to know you swallow Domo from total?
Okay. He got to go tab behind the horse tomorrow. He got to slaughter that go tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tomorrow Saturday. I call him before coming on air. The boat were crying, man. Tomorrow we get it too. Ambassador Becker won. He said he's slaughtering too tomorrow. Okay. Yeah, look, Dr. Toto, and we want people as we do this thing, we should educate and inform people. It's not going to be automatic. This is where it's so important and vital to talk to people who support these people, not because you support Ambassador Becker and you talk from the day of his campaign to the end and you expect something to happen instantly, immediately. That's the quick fix I was talking about. It's not just going to happen. It takes time. It's government. That's not his own private thing he's going to be doing there. Major decisions are involved, and people need to understand that, including his very surrogate people that promulgated his ideas, his ideology. If they not call you in the first 1 month, 2 months, please don't be like somebody
you begging for the people now. You pleading for the people.
I'm not pleading. I'm just telling. I'm just being honest with them that things
are you supposed to be involved with Mr. So that's why I say all of y'all together.
Yeah,
you ain't having a conversation in the background.
Who call you into it? He's talking to me. Why won't you be my lawyer now?
Yes, so let me just go ahead. If also,
yeah, no, no, still open. Go ahead, Dr.
Listen to all what have been said today. I still firmly believe that Ambassador Joseph Boakai government will be a successful government and involve the collaboration of every Liberians, qualified Liberians in the diaspora to come together and make the government be successful. Despite our disagreement, I believe that we are in the right direction. As I said, I've been reading through international platform. Now, if you just go now, you just Google Liberia, you see the ton of international online that are talking about what happened in Liberia today. That's an achievement that we should celebrate. And all should put our hand towards it. Let me just fall back on guessing. We have a long relationship before. And when it comes to the ambassador, whether he will complete his term in office when it comes to the issue of life and death, does that live in our preview? Let us take it out of that context. We have the hope and firmly believe that Ambassador Boakai will complete his term healthy. And there'll be nothing to interrupt his presidency that will get what will go through some constitutional means to carry on his term. I don't want to talk about that. Let me just close to this. A good friend of mine, I hate to bring it up, but let me just say, I talked about Kodi. A good friend of mine, during our refugee days in the Africas, we all become professional people. And he was in this opposition party, CDC. He used to, if you guys can remember his writing, this guy was very critical on Ambassador Boakai's age and his health. That Ambassador Boakai will not survive the next election. May his soul rest in peace. Before we could reach to this day, he's not with us. We with Africa together. So we don't have no monopoly over life and death. No matter how old the person is. You can be young, you can die, you can be old, you can die. So when it comes to Ambassador Boakai health, we should investigate Ambassador Boakai on his policy, how he will run Liberia. Some of the promises he made, like all we talk about auditing, we come to the War Crime Code, some of the promises that he made, we should hold his feet towards it. I submit.
Thank you so much. Koto Jalat Balayand. Let's hear you. Koto, are you there?
Thank you, Mr. I want to, like Dr. Toto rightly said, that was on my agenda to discuss about determining somebody's death or life. I remember when we were running campaign for Ellen, 205, people were saying, these very seditious were saying that Ellen will not even make it. Ellen will die. And here we have Ellen that has served 12 years, 18 years and plus. Okay? But I see, I feel, for my brother Jerome and the life of by George, they are saying all of this out of frustration. But I want to tell them today, let us put away all of those things. You guys use all of these things during the electoral process, and it didn't help you guys for Joseph Boakai not to win election. Joseph Boakai have won the election. All of those brothers never work. Now let's see the output. If I were you guys, I would not, start thinking on how to advise. I don't know, you guys think that you guys are exclusive of Liberia. We all are Liberians. If Joseph Boakai fails, it is the country that will go through the problem. So about this time, I think this will be the thing that I would advise some of you to start doing. Shut down your concerns and start putting it forth. Jerry, you are a journalist. I mean, recommend and see whether the honorable president-elect will not take your recommendation. I think that's what you should be doing now instead of going back to your electoral rights. So these are things that we should be doing. I see people right now, they are doing things to seek job. I ran this campaign up to this time. I'm not looking forward to anybody giving me a job now. If I am given the opportunity, of course I'm going to serve my country. But it is not the time where people will say, I ran campaign and they did not give me a job, and you take it a heart. I think we should do away with these things because everybody is Liberian. If you are qualified for the job, you should be given a job based on merit. It's not because I ran campaign or I was a battle cry leader. That's not what the job entails. We look at qualification. You are competent, you can do the job, and that's why I think he gave the maximum of 6 months. If he cannot produce, I think Joseph Boakai will not stay there and look at as somebody that is unproductive to keep you there more than 6 months. Okay, and we have people who complain about this war crime court. We remember we listened to this guy that we interviewed. They had an interview. I just forgetting his name. Alan White. Okay, he said we the Liberians. If you think that somebody was killed and you want to seek justice, let us start right now by putting our cases forward and test the justice system and see if it will not work. But nobody have tried. Nobody have tested it.
You can do
But
that.
we concluded, oh, they will not do that. They will not do that. Who's going to do it if you don't take the initiative? I think what we should be doing now is to test the system. If my brother or father or whoever was killed, I want to test the justice system. I want to put my case forward and see if the Liberia justice system will not work for me. Then I try international system, like we saw with the life of our what they call the man that was taking office, chief justice, not the chief justice position, a justice system that was
Kabina
Janet. He saw it, it didn't work for him. He saw it, he went further up. Why don't we start from there? The man is just not, he's just elected. I think that's my advice for you guys. Any problem or what you want Liberia to do, start writing it. You're a journalist, write it. Put it out there. See. And let us not start thinking. I think, I presume, I think, I predict. Let's do away with it. Anything wrong happen to Liberia, we all will be affected. I think that's my advice today. As of today, let us start getting our recommendations. And I think he listens. Okay. So we said, oh, okay, during this the process to select a VP, we're going to be a process. And he sat there. He made a decision. What came from it came from it. Today we had it like a Costa then got offended, and it didn't happen today. But he upset it. He said he forgave all of these people. All of the time, Costa was vindictive act. He kept saying, I forgave him. And I think he forgave him. So that's what I have. That's my own advice to all of us here. Let's start jotting down what we want for Liberia and we put it forward. I want to say
thank you so much. Okay, Gibson, Terry, and Octavia Jones. Who wants to go first?
I think I'll let it go. Terry is a more analytical person than me, so let the Boakai go. Then the
are you coming?
Where the man said with Boakai and Boakai, so
no,
you want me to go? Let me go ahead.
You say he the Boakai.
You the guru.
So are you coming to throw a grenade?
Those are not decent words to use on your colleagues. You know,
I'm a government now. We're discussing responsible government.
Yes.
So we're not discussing Tabata and you're not saying anything to the people for 5 years. No, that's not what we're discussing. The reason why I'm not responding to Honorable Jeru is because most of the things he's expressing psychologically, we understand from when he speaks. He's angry. You can see it in the expression, and the lady said it. And people are already addressing it. So why should we waste our time when Jeru presented a candidate to us that the Liberian people vote against? That shows you that Jeru's judgment is not credible enough for us to waste our time over. So that is why I'm not responding to that, because it's going to take our time. We are responding to responsible government. Do you really think that the Liberian people did not know that what he means? Is president in waiting before they voted for Ambassador Boakai? You think the Nibadians voted for Ambassador Boakai or they voted for Jeremiah Kun? Do you really think the Liberian people do not know that? We know that. We know that Jeremiah Kun is a possible presidential candidate in waiting. And I want to give you something that the Nibadians, they are the most industrialized county in the republic. Nyemah are industrialized people. So if you're talking about development, you can rest assured that the VP, even if something happened, God forbid, to Ambassador Boakai, we are sure that Jeremiah Kun can bring development to Liberia, because he's a good representation of the ambassador. But I don't want to dwell on that because that is not the argument here. As a responsible government, my concerns for Ambassador Boakai will be, number one, is that witch hunt. That witch hunt that what President Weah did to Bani Samuka, not to witch hunt those candidates that were elected by the people, all right, because the UN sanctions. That is number one. My concerns to him, and I will be, is something that I may recommend if he's listening to the show, that he should not witch hunt. If he can establish a means by which these people will be, they will go through the court processes, it's fine. But to just soon you become president as the way he did, to start witch hunting these people and trying to get rid of them to pay back, I think that would be a bad smell for his government. Number two, my concerns would be that the VSB should have the opportunity to travel to the United States to create international partners, because he will be an incoming president, a possible president in waiting. He needs to have the opportunity to travel, to audit your cabinet. You know, my concerns, he have to audit his cabinet. You have to show transparency, communicate regularly with the Liberian people, all right? Because those were things that were missing in President Weah leadership. He need to, and I mean, when I mean communicate, I mean your budget should be in the public. Your budget should be in the public. We should be able to read your budget. We should be able to access your budget. Like what Amara Kone said. Amara Kone had a projector in front of Finance Ministry that telling us how the money is being spent. Ambassador Boakai needs to take these things very seriously, because it's going to help his government explain to the Liberian people how his government is working, and that will dispel a lot of propaganda in the society. You know, we need to know who will be your finance minister. These are my concerns. Who will be your agriculture minister? Who will be your minister of public works? Who will be your minister of agriculture? These are my concerns, and these are very important and serious matters. And I believe Ambassador Boakai has a long period of time before the inauguration to make decisions and make sound judgment on these recommendations. I also want to believe that Ambassador Boakai is a guy who will make the right decision in selecting the right people, as he did during the elections. We saw how he selected the VSB that today pushed him to where he is. He brought in Amara Kone that today helped to push him to where he is. He brought in all those political leaders. So I trust his judgment. On this ground, I believe that Ambassador Boakai, I hope to see a great future for Mama Liberia. Thank you very much, Mr. So.
Thank you so much. It's been narrowed down to two persons, Gibson Jero and John Malley John. Gibson, please don't throw a bomb before we go.
So much was said, and I got 3 recommendations here for Ambassador Boakai, but I like to say,
now you're going around. I love.
Dr. Toto, health is part of governance politics. But the Liberian people voted whether health or no health, they were going to vote for Joseph Boakai, and I recognize and I respect that. I know Liberians have made mistakes throughout their political sojourn. You killed my mother, you killed my father, I will vote for you. They saw the error. You know book, you don't know book, I'll vote for you. They saw the error. Now they are saying, even if you bring a criminal close to you, we'll vote for you. Whether your health is not strong, we'll vote for you. That's another mistake again. So that mistake will come back to haunt, but not now. We will not see it now. But those of us who see it, it will come back to haunt us. And look, I do not wish that Ambassador Boakai end in death. I do not wish. I'm just telling us to put us in a position that there are possibilities. I even talk about him resigning. It could be possible that Mr. Boakai can say, look, I'm old now, we want it, but the 3 years, I can't continue, Jeremiah can't continue. He can say that. And that's the background I was trying to say. But my first recommendation is that I'm appealing to Ambassador Boakai, please do not consult the Grand Judea Legislative Caucus before you appoint the superintendent of Grand Judea County. These people will be fighting among themselves, and they will recommend people based on their impulses. If you want to appoint any superintendent of Grand Judea County, Make your own decision. In the past, the legislative caucus from Grand Jeda have always fought themselves, among themselves, and never make a good recommendation. So please, when you are appointing your Grand Jeda superintendent, do not consult the legislative caucus. It was a good thing that they should recommend people, but they never agree on something. Everybody got their own thing. They will bring more than 10 names to you just to confuse you. Find somebody who supports you from Grand Jeda and appoint them, or anybody who you think can do the job in Grand Jeda. The second recommendation is, I hope, I was praying that Joshua would do that. He tried the first referendum, it failed. But Liberia need to elevate now to the federal status. The county status is not helping us. People should be able to serve at the local level, at the legislative level, or the local level before they can even come to the national level. Each state or county should be able to generate own money, institute development projects, fiscal project policies, so that we can get used to it before we come to the national scene. I don't know if Ambassador Boakai will institute a referendum for a creation of a federal status for Liberia. The last one I want to recommend: do not appoint sedition, any express sedition in your first line of cabinet minister that you're going to appoint. We don't want any excuse to say, oh, I brought the other people, they were opposition. I try to unify the country, and I brought them, but they are the one that undermine our government. No, we don't want any of that excuses. We know you're going to fail. I know you're going to fail. Don't appoint any decision. You will fail because you will not be able to govern. Don't appoint no express sedition in your first line of cabinet. Make sure everyone you appoint should be people who support you. We don't want no excuse from you. The last thing I'm going to say here is, look, we are Liberians. I'm going to be opposition for a long time. I'm going to be opposition for a long time. Not today, not tomorrow. As a matter of fact, I'm going to Monrovia anytime soon to do a prospect for project for a multimedia institution. And definitely, I will be able to checkmate Ambassador. We're not going to give him chance. Somebody said we should give him chance. No, we're not going to give him chance. We're starting now. We're starting now. If we don't start now, it will get used to him. By the time we want to criticize him, we say, oh, and the poor vision to me. No, we want to start now. If Ambassador Boakai, in fact, that would be my first objective. Ambassador Boakai must declare his assets before January 20th. If he does not declare assets before January 20th, that will be the first round of criticism for his failure to abide by the things that he said to the Liberian people. And that's how we're going to do it. I don't know. People right now on your text line, Alfonso, on your text line, focusing me already. I don't know, everywhere I go, they focus me.
Yeah, but getting to be frank with you, the way you approach issues, that's what your problem is. It just take time and approach it. It goes well. You're arrogant. You are arrogant in answering, and to be an administrator, you can't be arrogant. What's your point?
Let me
tell you something. I can't be like Bloku. He can pet things too much. I can't be the Alfonso. He won't be.
You're not an administrator. You can't be an administrator.
I can't be the who is an accountant who want to pet. No, I'm not an administrator in Liberia. I'm not. I am a journalist. I am a hardliner. I'm a critic. So I want to say it as is. They can cost me for now a judgment day. It's not going to move me. In fact, it make me more to energize to be able to do the thing that they are costing me for me. I'm hating them. And they are getting under the skin, and I want to continue to do it. And that's how I want to do it.
And what could they do you?
You know what they did?
What could they do you? Just to go under somebody's skin, or you want output?
Let me go to. Let me go to.
You just went under my skin, then I cut off. You just went under my skin, then because you tell me does not mean that they go under my skin.
Let Mali have a day. Mali Jones.
Yeah. Good night. Good night.
No, don't go. You sat here, you talk, everybody listen to you. The higher important. What you taking home now before you talk about good night? So what do you have against Mali Jones? Tell me. You don't want him to. You say you're liberal, but you doesn't sound like a liberal. Other people's voices it doesn't matter to you. That's not how liberal. You're more than. I don't want to talk. Mali Jones, go ahead.
Well, thank you, Mr. Moderator, for giving me a maximum protection on this platform.
There we go.
So the first thing I want to say here is that I think it's about time to focus on issue that will put breakfast and dinner on the Liberian people table. So the issue of Ambassador Boakai age, illness, and long life, I think this should serve as a caveat to Gibson Jerome on longevity as he move on as a journalist. I think this platform has got a reputation to focus on issues. And this is the reason why sometimes we don't delve into things that are personality oriented, because it's a waste of time. You realize that when George Opon came, he had a brand name. He was the Propo. Now we have what we call the arrest. And there was this song that was sung for George Weah, you know, boy, will vote for you. That was an issue. Because you need education to sharpen your critical mind and see how best you're going to take the 5 million people into success. So that was not personal, it was serious. So the issue of age and illness is not going to put food on anybody's table. And secondly, the issue of federalism is a constituted oriented issue. We got a form of government in Liberia right now. If you want to tamper with that issue, you have to tamper with the Constitution. The question now, are we ready for that? Maybe that could be a discussion for another day. But what I foresee here that might happen with the Unity Party is that the membership of the Unity Party, if we are not careful, they are going to contaminate Joseph Boakai good dreams. For example, the Liberal just said, leave the old man alone. This is tantamount to business as usual. I want to send that caveat. It's tantamount to business as usual. And if the government is coming and appointing people, like for instance, someone said, Amara Corner brought some new idea, therefore he could go under the vice. We don't want those things there. People should be qualified on the basis of their credential. Helen tried it didn't work. Okay? Because most of the people that will be coming to government, like for instance, Amara Corner, he worked in a government that was systematically wrapped in acute corruption. We will address that later on, depending on where they want to put in this government. All right? So what we're seeing here is that I would suggest that we have new faces coming up. Because one thing that we should know, and the membership of the Unity Party should know, Ambassador Boakai made so many promises. Those promises are on record. So if he coming to start with auditing the Georgia government, I will be the first to say that it will be a witch hunt if he does not extend the audit to the 12-year rule of Helen Johnson Sirleaf's government, where he was part, to make him more transparent. Yes. And lastly, I don't know Joseph Boakai leadership style right now. How he going to appoint his people, or it going to be on the basis of people who praise him, or basis on criteria, but one thing I'm sure of is that I thank God that he was able to get George Weah out of the way, who has been taking Liberia in the wrong direction. I must commend him for that. How he going to work it out now, like Cotto said, we all will need to put together and make the recommendation to him. All right. And lastly, Cotto just mentioned about Allen White. Allen White does not have the moral authority to speak on justice for the Liberian people. They have all got a stake in our country with different political interests. We know this for sure. And the issue of justice in Liberia cannot be taken by an individual. When the Accra peace was structured, that was one of the fourth pillar. Peace and reconciliation and justice. It was one of them. The TRC was one of them. So the question is, the issue of economic crime, it's a new term coming up of late. All right. So the government will have to visit it. But here is my worry now about Joseph Boakai's government. The legislature, if the angry seditions decide to sit on the hilltop, there could be a serious blockade to so many of Joseph Boakai's reform in Liberia, and that will kick in what I call political frustration. So I hope we are watching that keenly, because coming to the executive mansion is one thing. Working with the host to pass some of your massive reform is another thing. And people setting a roadblock to them, it can be frustrating. Thank you, Mr. Moderator, for protecting me within
What a great conversation. A new day in the Republic of Liberia. Ambassador Joseph Nyemah Boakai is the new sheriff in town. Now, to be a sheriff, obviously, there are some people that need to answers to their questions in the past, in the present, and ongoing. Dr. George Toto from Pittsburgh, Gibson to Gerald from Fargo, North Dakota. Is that an oil? Area to oil field, right?
No.
Yeah,
we
got small oil here.
What I play, man.
Something. Why?
You know when Gibson came, he talking about going to be credit card and this and that. They may have sat in Fargo there where they have given equipment, material to them to even serve the Liberians there. They misuse all of the opportunity for the Liberians in Fargo.
No, it's not true. It's not true. And thank God you brought it up, because I got a chance to correct that mistake.
To hear you.
No. I got it. I got an opportunity to correct this today.
No,
you've been saying it behind me. I got an opportunity to correct it today. Koto, in North Dakota, we were the first people that filled a container, a 20-footer container, and shipped it to Liberia. When it got at the Freeport, the Ministry of Health, today we don't know what happened to it. I was one of those. I got a video.
And that stigma is on your institution. You know that.
No, it's not on the institution.
It's on you. That's your leadership. You didn't
the information you hear out there is not true, because I got a video.
Before I talk on something, I got first hand on it. You think I said that I got first hand information? How do I know about it? How do I?
It's secret. It's no secret. It's not a secret.
Yes,
it's not a secret, but I know about it.
So,
I think
Ebola, everybody run that way. I want to bring what how you going to leave the cabinet minister?
You went to Liberia, you stayed there, you get a job, and you came by here, you work out a credit card.
Hold on.
What credit card you?
So wait a minute now. So they continue disappear or
what? Don't mind it.
I don't know.
I guess he said that we will go deep into that, and you want to take it out with me.
Hello.
No, people laugh at you because
you want to take it out with me. Let's go there.
I'm not looking for
I didn't want to fight you on that, because I was not on that platform. You bring it on the platform here, we will take it out. I'm telling you, I'm prepared for you. Bring it on this platform.
I can see that you'll be frustrated many days if I'm here.
Being frustrated, you saw I cool you down when I broke your way.
Koto.
I don't leave you guys.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Toto, Gibson Gerald.
Nothing hurts me.
Malek Jones.
I got text king in politics. I'm a politician.
I'm not
a journalist.
Oh, you politician now?
Me?
Yes, he agrees to a politician and she's not accountant again.
I say politician, you say not a politician.
Who went? Me?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Never told you guys I was not a politician.
No, you said it on this platform.
No, you get it wrong. You get
no. I think.
Okay, hold on.
You need to find a video and replay it another time.
Like, me too. I'm not a politician.
Okay. Yes.
No, fire is also.
Wait.
I can drink liquor. Maybe
You
I'll
were
get
talking,
liquor
I said,
idea.
when you politician.
In fact, it was so that I asked you that question and you said no.
No.
Yeah, you said, I said, when you politician, and what did she say?
Yeah,
I'm not a politician.
She said no, but I think she didn't get the question, maybe. But because the other time she said she's a politician.
Mr. Collins,
No, listen.
You can't advocate for her.
She said she got a master's degree in something and she did politics. That's what she said the last time.
International relations and political science.
She said she's not a
Oh,
politician.
yes, what she said. I heard.
No. I even ran for a position.
Yeah?
I ran as a
I said, you're a politician. He said, who politician?
Yeah, they said, no, we're not politicians.
She said that. She said, who politician? Don't say your.
Yeah.
She was
No,
not referring to.
You're not going to that.
I said,
After
don't
he
say
said you're not
say me.
Okay, when he said you're politician, he said, we're not politicians. He said, but you're a politician, you ran. That's the time you came to your face, he said, yeah.
I was saying that
before you said you were not.
Other people, you must say me.
Right. She was referring to herself. She wanted you to refer to her. Don't say
okay, let's get a record straight now. Are you a politician?
I am. I am a politician.
She said it the last time that she's a politician.
I studied and by practice. So I get tested into politics.
Hello. Okay. Something
not by theory.
Not by theory, but practical. Theory and practical.
So when you are appointed minister, how you going to lead the cabinet minister? How you lead a cabinet meeting?
They appoint her like government fee. As soon as they appoint her like government fee.
I'm a good administrator. Don't play with me. I'm a good administrator. That's the way I can do.
How many votes you put in tomorrow?
Be yelling over your employees.
I gotta go, guys. Bye-bye.
I don't even know these people. I don't go to citizen headquarters before. Only once I win.
All
right, good night, Gibson.
Okay, guys, there we have it. The battleground. There's a new day in Liberia. Ambassador Joseph Nyemah Boakai is the president-elect. And I think one of the greatest things is Liberia. If nothing else could be remembered of President George Weah to everything that every human being get their good side, that would be one of the legacies. Quite a long war, third world countries. We saw in Africa, the constitution was circumvented extensions of the president just to make sure to get things done. We saw what happened in other neighboring countries. But he was very magnanimous. He was the head of the government. We all was jittering, we all were freaking out when we saw the huge deployment of security forces. But some of us knew what was happening because people said they're going to go in the street. So they were taking all necessary precaution without them knowing what would have been the outcome of this. But by he placing that phone call and even admitting to the fact that, yes, even if there was a reruns in all of those places, the polling centers, the number just doesn't add up to make any difference. That is indeed. So there is a way to give to other people too, because these are some of the things African leaders, they become defiant and they do not leave offices, because when they leave, the reprisal or how they're going to be perceived, people have their supporters. And people are willing to, remember, bear in mind, how many cabinet ministers, directors, and other folks that you have, they will be going out of job. So all of these people, there's a way they could even protect their job as well, to say, oh no, don't go to court. Would that do the country a good? I think he did a noble thing today, despite of any other thing. That was a noble thing. And that it makes our country to be a country that believes in the principles of democracy and respect the views and listen to what the voters say. And that was set a standard for other leaders that are going to come. If you don't get it, you don't get it. They now know the citizens there, they decided. And I think he did recognize that there were things that went wrong. Perhaps as he said now, he's thinking with himself, I could have done this. This was meant to reach. And this is a lesson learned. If they give you state power, it has to be used wisely. That's what the politicians, most of them will not find it. I'm not going to be a sycophant. When you support persons, you support them with honesty and tell them when they are going wrong. Everything cannot be yes, yes, yes. That's the problem. All of these people, all roaming around here, they were one with the president before, but because of some disagreement and a variety of reasons, they couldn't get what they could get. They're leaving from one party to another party. They do not stay in the institution when the institution need them to fix it. They will not stay there. When chaos there, they will migrate and go to a different party because we do not have a system. Every party door is open to accommodate every little they can turn. As a result, all of our institutions are broken down. Parties are centered around individual. Now, George Weah is not there. Who potentially could be the face of CDC? Who going to be the next face of Unity Party? The preparation should start now. But guess what? When that process starts, the sycophants and those who within the proximity of the leader, the next thing this person wants to overthrow you. This is why we don't grow as a people, as a country, and as a society, and as an institution. You in the West, you know, every other national convention comes to election here, be it the Republicans or Democrat. Why do you think they say this is a rising star? They give other people the opportunity to exhibit their talent and their leadership skill. That doesn't happen in Liberia. Liberian politicians are unapologetic. You would never see them to say, I'm sorry for what I did. They will always defend, and you, their supporter, you, their surrogate, you, their voters, you stand in their behalf and give justifications of their action. And at the end of the day, you will come back here to tell us, oh, I am disappointed in him. You never asked question when you were giving your vote. You just heard a little minimum of that person. You never raised your finger to ask those critical questions. Why should I give my vote to you? You will serve as an Anthony for me. You'll be making decisions for the next 6 years, 9 years. Why should I trust my vote? You never care because of tribal sentiments, sectional sentiment, and personal reason. When with our politicians put the interests of our country first, we wish the president-elect luck, and may he have the wisdom. Let he not allow friends or those who maybe have been a huge donor to his campaign get in the system and use that time to abuse the system because he or she was magnanimous during the fight, in their political fight, and perhaps have supported our campaign and allow things to go downhill. That's what happens. That's what happened. We are holding the president, we are accountable to, responsible today because there were people that were in his proximity. There was some decision he as a head to take. And as a leader, that's not every decision you're going to take that going to, even your people going to like it. You need to stay strong and be firm. That did not happen. People say a horrible thing. People within his head, he did not set an example. They're talking for his granted, and the Liberian people today spoke. And I know we listened to that tone, that voice. It was like, I wish I knew this. I wish I've done this. I was in Liberia. There's a supermarket right after Taylor O played there. From his chief of protocol. You're going in a supermarket meeting people. Yeah, it's good to give. But people dividing $100, giving it to people. That's not how you sustain, that's not how you empower people. Those were just political gifts. And those are people who were beating their chests. They were unable to articulate the president's agenda. Very intolerant. Would that be the same thing we're going to be having now for even those that are supporting Joseph Boakai? The race is over. Will you be conciliatory in your tone? Will you now begin to tell us about the administrative skill of Ambassador Joseph Nyemah Boakai, even if you are offended? Or will you be what? Fire for fire. Will you find yourself in the governing stage, no longer campaigned, or you're going to do the opposite? Don't get around, because you have seditions. There are folks who are going to be coming at you, because this one is just going to be a visual cycle. It shouldn't be a surprising thing. Are we all willing to embrace that storm for the good of the country? A leader to listen. You should be sensitive, be the last to talk, to speak, and pick up those positive signals. Or are these another corrupt people that are going to be going to enrich themselves because somebody did that yesterday and get away with it? So when we start to talk, and then they will begin to remind us it was done 2-3 years ago, that now you want to talk. So this sort of visual cycle will continue to roll over and roll over and roll over. People must be held accountable for their actions in the past, in the present, and even the one that is ongoing. See what is happening in this great war. The former president of the free world today is going through a justice system, is being held accountable for perhaps abuse of power, state resources. So he said he will pack, which is great. Will we now get to know, will we get a memoir now to what really happened within Helen Johnson's government? What went wrong? How much was invested into the rehabilitation process? Millions of international funds. Where did that start? How many persons were really rehabilitated? Counselors, psychiatrists, treatment plans is not just taking somebody from in the street and carry them and they eat, and next year they go outside. That's not a job of senators or representatives. There must be an institutions where these people need support. That's what we want. This thing, there must be a legislation for institutions to be restructured, revisited, not representative bailing rules and stuff. No. I never saw Senator Jagri doing that here in my own state. If we want a civilized and modern society, we must be able to hold our own accountable. We must start protecting our own alligators. They're going to be fighting. Are they most of the talking? I was this. I want to go to this other ministry. I want to go to this other corporation. Because other people were there and they were benefited. They're then looking at the greater portion that the country needs to be resurrected. We want to applaud Liberian and say kudos to the president and the government, because he spoke, and I think that settles the score. Seditions go home, because he knows, you know what it means? You're a minister, you city mayor, and after tomorrow, we know what happens when people want to leave offices after 1 month, 2 months, to tell them, say, accept. He is going through a bereavement. I would say a bereavement time. It's almost like a mind and power or wealth. Everybody got involved in an accident, because imagination, your hair will be crowded. People that you used to talk to, telephone calls that you need to call. There are some people who now disconnecting because new bunch of people coming. That's where they want to start establishing contact, and they will be looking what becomes of me in the next 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. So there's light factoring in. For he to accept and even place that phone call, it is a complete reassurance that our country is getting the real taste of democracy. We want to thank you so much for your time. Please leave your comments. We discuss the issue here, make a fair balance. This is not a network where you come to hear things that you need to hear. We tell you what you need to know. Whether you agree or disagree, that's a different conversation by itself. We say congratulations to the people of the Republic of Liberia. Now, Delia Brown and the commissioner, they are good people. Yesterday, they were slammed. They don't want to do this. They don't want. People are so intolerant, and they do not want to give people the chance to do what they're supposed to do. Quick fix. They want things to happen quickly. And in that process, it must happen in their favor. As long as it is not in their favor, it is not right. But Liberia went to the polls, and we now know the Election Commission did not do anything, but they were doing their piece of job. Thank you so much, and have a pleasant evening. Bye-bye.